And we are live now. What's up, people? What's going on? And welcome to my channel. We have Jim from Always Buying Chelsea, and we have Aranya, our old school Arsenal fan, in the house. Big up to everyone who's in the chat right now, and thanks for tuning in. We have the Premier League kicking off this weekend, folks. We have Liverpool Bournemouth, and as I and we have also Aki in the house. Big up to you, Aki. The
What's
Barcelona
up,
fan.
boys? What's
What's
up,
up?
Rudarites? What's up, Bhaiya? What's up, Jim?
Yeah,
What's
Keith.
going on?
What's
Going
up?
on? So it's a tasty Premier League weekend opener. We got a United Arsenal on Sunday also. Aranya, I would come back to you and ask you how you feel about your chances on Sunday against revitalized kind of United side.
I have
Maybe.
no hopes. I have no hopes.
No hopes.
No hope.
That's brutal.
Why? Why?
It's always same every season. So yeah, I've learned to keep no hopes.
That's an old dilemma of Arsenal fans. I mean, there was a joke, right? When you guys got Jokerit, I remember you're like, everyone was like, hey, so Arsenal are securing their second spot now. So that was a joke, like kind of going around on social media. But seriously, like, how do you rate? Do you rate any chances of Arsenal receiving any silverware this season? Anything?
I think the best we would do is finish second and and one silverware. That's all.
Arsenal and finishing second is a match made in heaven, by the way.
I love that.
Meanwhile, Chelsea bottling top four is also a match made in heaven that happens few times.
Aki, well, let's not go on bets. I had a bet with Aki, by the way, folks. He promised to pay for the weekly round of our pickup games we have if Chelsea finished fourth last season. I have it on text as proof. He has now not yet given me that trade.
And I lost it again. I wiggled my way out of it by bribing some of my friends. And I put another bet. This time in bowling, I lost that again. And I have to pay it again now.
You copped out. We finished fourth, and I know we stumbled our way into fourth last season, Jim. I already had a conversation with Jim about this on his channel. Please go check out Always Buying Chelsea. Please, it's a great podcast which Jim and Danny have set up. Chelsea and a Bayern fan, and please go like, subscribe the channel, and I had a great conversation on the channel, and we discussed our hopes and expectations of the season. But I really wanted to know, Jim, with you, starting with you, how do you feel about all our departments, like from goalkeepers down to the attackers? Like, how confident are you that we're well set up in each department? Okay, let's start with the goalkeepers. What do you? I know we've already done this, but I guess let's kind of recap it. How are you feeling about the situation of goalkeepers?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I've kind of flipped on Sanchez a little bit. Last year, we know he was damn near leading the league in errors that led to goal, which was disgusting. But I think what he showed me at the Club World Cup, I've almost like turned into a positive troll in the way that I feel about Sanchez. And I'm just like actively rooting him on, even though a lot of fans hate him. I just think we have to deal with him at this point, and we're not bringing in anybody else, maybe until Penders is ready. So we might as well support him, and I think he's going to be great this year for Chelsea.
I think I honestly feel so too, and I think we have also Yash in the house. I think he's taking his setup, taking a little time. Yash, can you hear me? Yash, bhai, are you there? Okay, I think it'll take some time to come again. I feel, and I think one thing we're definitely, I think me and Jim will agree on is in terms of our attack, our midfield, and fullbacks. I think we're good. We're sorted. I think these three areas are our strengths right now as a squad, and we have already seen that in the preseason, in the Club World Cup. I don't think we will have a problem breaking down low blocks anymore, which Chelsea had severally, playing against the Bournemouths, the Burnleys, and whatnot, and the Crystal Palaces when they would sit down in this medium to low block, and we would get frustrated. Palmer would drop all the way back into the midfield to get some ball because he's not getting any ball, and it was frustrating to watch, right? In the middle patch of that season where we went on a terrible run from December onwards till around good February, March, where we were awful. We were just god awful, and we were struggling. We got knocked out by Brighton. We got defeated like back-to-back defeats by Brighton in February. That was the lowest point. I don't know. I think Jim, you probably agree with that. Back in February, when we
Yeah.
lost 2 back games to Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm very excited for what Chelsea can do this year. Like you said, they had ups and downs last year, but I think even the Arsenal fan here would agree that Chelsea are looking to be a great team this year. Cole Palmer can be the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
three
actually, I
fans
would like
here
to.
with European trophies, one fan here with 0. So yeah, Forza Barca.
I'll come down to Aki's view also. I want to know, Anya, how do you feel as a rival fan, seeing the rival clubs strengthen? Do you feel Arsenal strengthened enough to keep up with the level of competition that is being raised this season?
Don't forget Crystal Palace as well. By the way, London club.
Okay. We'll get to that also. But yeah, Anya, what do you feel?
So, of course, this time Liverpool is very strong, and I believe they will win the league. Then United also is uh, doing great, I would say, with their um, new transference. So I believe they will fight for the fourth spot. And for Chelsea, I've seen the preseason games, and I do believe they will give us a tough time, and they will of course finish fourth. Um, Spurs, I don't rank them in the top six anymore. So,
Champions of Europe. You never sing that.
but yeah, apart from that, I think yeah, it would be tough this time for Arsenal overall.
It, it definitely will be. I would love to get that we have Tejveer in the house, a fellow blue.
Hello, hello, hello.
Tejveer bhai, what's up? What's going on? Kya hal chal? What's going up? I think so. The situation so far is that obviously there's a lot of hype about Chelsea, obviously, and clearly I think we can all agree, probably if anyone differs, I would like to know their viewpoint, that Liverpool are the clear favorites for the Premier League title this season. Given
I'm
how
I'm actually differing on this. I'm saying right now it's between Chelsea and City this season. I'm not happy with Liverpool's defense so far till the time they get today or something like this. Otherwise, I don't think Liverpool are the favorites for me after what I saw in the Community Shield. It's a hot take, I
but,
know, but even if they are bringing back Isak, I need if they are not investing in the defense, I'm not considering them favorites. I've seen their centre back depth losing Kwanzaa and Joe Gomez. I also feel like he's not the most reliable person. Of course, they are signed Leone from, if I'm not wrong, from Parma, but I'm not convinced with the defense so far. Also, Jeremy Frimpong, he's more used to that wing back system, getting those bombarding forward runs and all. I don't know like how he gets into that role of Trent, and yeah, I'm not considering Liverpool favorites. For me, it is between City and Chelsea. I'm being honest, and even Arsenal to some extent I will consider, although they are second place merchants, so I don't care.
Oh my god. Tough day to tough times to be an Arsenal fan now. Come on.
but that's very interesting point, Tejbhai, because I was actually thinking about this because I'm very cautious when it comes to obviously right now going and thinking about that we'll definitely will be up there as to winning it. because primarily in the league, once again, I think me and Jim have already had a conversation about this on their podcast, is that we have not really even, our highest point tally has not even crossed 80 points since 2017, and that's saying a lot. Like 80 plus points is the minimum you need to get to probably secure like a top three finish across the past 4 5 seasons in the Premier League, and we haven't managed that since Conte, and that's saying a lot. So, despite our cup successes, which we clearly have had a handle on, of reaching those finals, winning some of those finals, losing a lot of them also in the cup competition, in the domestic cups. Clearly, those terrible triple back-to-back final losses from 2021 to 2023 was
Yeah.
horrible to watch. Exactly, there you are. You know what I'm talking about. So, despite and it's the league for the longest time. It is the league. It's that last frontier that Chelsea
Yeah.
have not been able to cross. How do you think? Do you think we can get up 80 plus points, Tejubai, this season?
I don't know. The thing is, this season, City are also in somewhat of a transition period after losing De Bruyne, and of course, we saw like what happened in the Club World Cup. Chelsea, of course, with their young team, you never know what you can expect.
Hmm.
Then, of course, Arsenal, of course, finally they have signed a striker and all. But like, this is the most open, like I would say, race in terms of Premier League that we would have seen in so many seasons. Because most of the teams, like, there is no confirmation. Of course, Liverpool on paper might look like the best team and all, but
Hmm.
the thing is, I haven't seen that defensive balance and all. Of course, Van Dijk is also getting up in age. You have that Konate contract situation again. Chelsea, of course, they are unexpected. Unfortunately, the Colwill injury. Then, of course, Arsenal, like they have always come this close, but been mostly second place. Then City, they are currently in a transition period. How does Ryan Cherki and other players like? And of course, again, they have also lost Rodri for quite some time again. So it is
Hmm.
such a wide open race. I just can't like say like if I have to say my favorites, it is Chelsea and City for me. But I
Oh.
can't really say about the points tally and anybody. It's like it is for up for grabs this time. Like even I would say Liverpool they, till they get Isaac also. Of course, I would. It definitely helps their attack, and of course, goals will help. But defense wins championships, like it has been said. So it is still very wide open for me, if I have to say.
Mm. Uh, we have, I'll just take one of the comments right now. We have Superplex in the house. He's a big time commenter, supporter of this channel. Big up to you,
And
Superplex.
a Madrid fan. Specify that as well.
A Madrid and a Liverpool fan, also, I might add. Has a very crazy ass comment. Let me just take that up. Chelsea to win 114-point Premier League to surpass Arsenal and get their hands on a diamond Premier League. They win, and the other competitions unbeaten for historic quadruple.
Insane.
That's insane. Like Zublex, I will change my name. Like move to any country of choice, which this chat tells me if that ever happens. I swear, because that is a dream come true. That's not even a dream. That's like a fantasy beyond fantasy, obviously. And I love the positive trolling that Superplex is doing. So big
I
up to
mean,
you,
the
Super.
only trophy that Chelsea can win realistically, for given the circumstances, is a Premier League title, maximum.
We don't
Because
care about your opinion. Chup, chup, chup. तू कुछ नहीं बोलेगा.
But this is very curious because I would hold the opposite view. Jim, okay, so what do you think? Do you think are people? It's a very interesting point Tejveer brought up because we haven't. People are not really chatting up City, right? Ironically, funnily enough, but the thing is, in my opinion, uh, can we ever rule City out? What do you think?
I think City are going to be super good this year. I mean, I posted my full EPL predictions yesterday, and I have City finishing second. It's interesting the points brought up about Liverpool too. I kind of agree a little bit about the defense, and certainly Arne Slot thinks that Chelsea are going to win the league. I don't know if you saw his comments, but he said he thought Chelsea were going to win the league last year, thinks they're going to win the league this year. Just crazy to say these things he's saying. But yeah, no, I mean, both those teams are going to be super good alongside Chelsea. Those are my top three: Liverpool, City, and then Chelsea. So if City can get those players humming along with De Bruyne leaving, I think they made a lot of transfers that are great. Liverpool as well, but they got to take time to mesh probably. So we'll see what happens there. I think the key is going to be the start. If Chelsea start out hot, their schedule's a little bit lighter at the beginning here, staying in London until the middle of September. So that could be huge as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what I've noticed is any successful Premier League season, Chelsea, unlike City, we thrive on strong starts in the Premier League historically. Of all the titles I've seen Chelsea win, we have historically always done well when we have had a good start. So that means like in the first opening 10 games of the Premier League season, probably winning like 6, 7, or 8 out of those 10 games and probably drawing or losing one. And that's about it. So that's like 24 points out of a potential 30 points in the opening weeks of the Premier League. And that is when I've seen usually Chelsea step it up and then probably challenge for the title and often win it. But City is different, right? City have shown, like, despite having a pretty bad start to the season, they have usually always have this kind of mechanism where they usually click on in the middle of the season or like the second half of the season, where they'll go on this crazy run and will win like 10, 15 games in a row and just run away with the title, which obviously didn't happen last season. But I think that was bound to come, right? I think I think 4 in a row is not a joke, and 5 in a row was probably realistically never going to happen, and it could. And Rodri's injury just confirmed that. But I think they will come back stronger this year. Yes, I think they're going to be way better than last season for sure. I think that is going to be the key, because especially Rangers looks really good at signing. I think he's a really shrewd signing for Rangers. I actually kind of like him, and I'm watching him play a bit in the preseason for City. He looks really bright, and he's getting the game style, and his way he plays is very similar to Gundo. The young Gundo, when Gundo was in his prime at City, chipping in with goals, also almost playing as this defensive midfielders in the defensive phase of the game, but in the offensive phase, he's like making those late runs or waiting for cutbacks at the edge of the box. That's very Gundogan kind of style of play. And I feel City did a very shrewd signing of getting Rangers there. And I think we are sleeping a bit. I think the whole football fan base is sleeping a bit on City, because given the last season was quiet, and that the transfer window this season didn't really involve like high profiles, any signings as per se, like as they're usually kind of used to, like which they do. I mean, there's still talks of Rodrigo. I don't know if that'll happen or not, because that's up in the air. There was talks of Savinho leaving as a result. I don't know if that is happening. I think that is really dependent upon them getting perhaps Rodrigo. But if Rodrigo comes to City, I think that's a dangerous move. I think if Rodrigo to City happens, that would probably shift the balance of the scale right now. Because for me, still, Liverpool, given the pace they built last season and how they projected themselves into this season with the transfers and incomings, I think they are definitely up there. But City, if they make 1 or 2 signings more, especially like a winger or two, because they have sort of struggled in the left wing kind of area since last season. You had Doku often playing there, but that's very thin, because then you would leave the right flank for Savinho, but then Savinho was also blossoming into a very unstable team. But now with Rodri fit and Rangers in, the midfield looks sorted again. And that will be probably, they need some depth back again to actually challenge, because Bernardo Silva can't do the flank role anymore. We saw that last season. He was tired. By the end of the season, he was literally tired. The guy was played so many minutes that he was like done for. And I think that's the part of that aging squad, which perhaps, hence again, comes up to the question, are they still in a bit of a transition kind of period, seeing these sort of older profile of players being phased out? Ananya, I would like to know this from you. that
Yeah.
this season for Arteta, how crucial is it for him to do something this season in some silverware? Do you think the future of Arteta actually depends on how this
Yeah.
season goes?
And what
I think
phase is he in?
so. We have trusted him. We have trusted the process for quite some time now, and I think this would be a make it or break it season for him. And uh, still, I believe the squad depth is not. Uh, excuse me.
Okay. So we covered because that's a very interesting question. I mean, I would like I would like to know like a fourth perspective from out looking in, and I think if Aki can come in at some point and add, like as a Barcelona supporter, he's away from the madness of the Premier League rivalry. Aki, what do you think about the Premier League title race this season? Who do you think are going to be the favorites, and what do you think? Who do you think are going to be the surprise package of Premier League this
Um,
season?
it's gonna be the toughest Premier League season this time around because as a Barca fan, because I'm a kind of outsider here because I'm a Barca fan for so many years now, but I have been watching the Premier League because of most of my friends like Arsenal supporters, Chelsea, United, Liverpool. But for me, while predicting this table, I was wondering like this is gonna be an absolute chaotic season, and it will be go to the last day. Game week 38 is gonna have some last minute winners, some action-packed games, and for the title race, I do feel it's gonna be back to back Liverpool. Liverpool gonna win it, and
Uh,
I know I believe what Tejvi Bhai is saying that defensively they are shaky. They of course there are rumors of Konate leaving to Real Madrid,
hmm,
but
hmm,
despite that, it all comes down to the manager. Maresca, amazing manager, but Pep Guardiola, legend. You all know I'm a Barca fan. I know it. I know this. And Arteta just, I mean, he's a good manager, but it's just not Arsenal don't have the mentality of winning. They just don't finish the games. Like even the game against PSG, the game against PSG, that was just a game that Arsenal should win. That game, PSG were playing the worst football, and we saw PSG struggle against London teams. We saw what happened in Super Cup as well. What Spurs did,
hmm,
2-0
hmm.
up, but
Good
Spurs
point.
are. But you can't get the DNA out of Spurs. The Spursiness, bottling games. You
Facts.
just can't take it out. Eventually, it was 2-1, and in penalties, of course, PSG penalty takers. And of course, again, another thing, but City, in this is comes to City now.
Hmm,
This is probably going to be the last year of Pep Guardiola in a City manager because it is rumors that he wants to, take a break from football management,
hmm,
and I would love to like see him be a manager more because I really like him.
hmm,
But he's also rumored to take some international jobs after City.
hmm, hmm,
There were rumors. There are some nations are interested to have him. Of course, I would say Spain could be a very good shout for a management, but we all know how the current Spain manager is doing very well with the national team. Of course,
hmm,
they unfortunately lost the Nations League against Ronaldo and Portugal, but who cares about Nations League anyways? But the Euros was a testament. They fought till the end. I mean, against a very star-studded England side. That was amazing. Of course, Cole Palmer being a hero there as well, trying to do his everything. Just like we obviously Cole Palmer is going to be a great player for Chelsea going forward as well. But coming back to City, I do feel City are going to be like the on around first and second. But when it comes to finishing the games, I think we saw our City. You just mentioned about aging squad: Bernardo Silva struggling, Gundogan struggling, Stones, Ruben Dias. And they signed new players. Of course, they signed Kusanov.
hmm,
Last two was maximum average, to be
hmm.
honest. I mean, he came from Liga. What do you expect? Like we can't expect a Liga player to do well in Premier League. So that
Not
was,
immediately.
and of course, but they do have some youngsters: Nico Riley, Rico Lewis. Of course, they have Nunes playing right back now. Shockingly, he's now defender on FPL now. I was like, what the hell is happening? So yeah, interesting season. But the manager, I think Arne Slot is gonna cook again. I think it will be a Salah masterclass as always. Haaland is gonna have another terrible season. I have a feeling he's doesn't look like the same Haaland that we know after injury. After he got like his ACL, right? Got some injury happened. He's not been the same guy. Rodri, I believe he's gonna come back to his old Rodri that we know, the Ballon d'Or Rodri that we know. I think he's gonna be back to his own level. And but Liverpool, I think the squad. We talk about Frimpong being a wing back. I think good right back as well. I think he would do well with being a right back. I think he's definitely a much better player than Trent. And I mean,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
past few years, I mean, Trent is more like an overrated right back to me now. He is like previously during his Champions League run, he was amazing, but the
Hmm.
fall off is crazy. The fall off is like unbelievable. So I do feel, and the Frimpong is definitely way better than Trent. I think I would say Trent is going to be the biggest flop of the biggest flop transfer because Real Madrid don't need a player. I mean, Danny Carvajal is much better than Trent right now, even though he's like old. But you know what? Why I really love Danny Carvajal? I mean, yeah, I'm a Barca fan, but I really love Danny because he just has a hunger of being running around, solid defense, processing, comes in the midfield, and is an all-round better right back than Trent. So yeah, coming back. So that's the reason I feel like Liverpool really upgraded themselves. And of course, Milos Kerkesh on the full back, on left
Hmm.
back, better than Robertson. Obviously, Robertson is aging. The midfield is like we have Florian Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Endo, Gravenberch, McAllister. I think the overall Liverpool are much balanced. And also, of course, Liverpool have something to prove because they just lost Diego Jota, unfortunately. So they have to. I feel they're gonna win this title for him. This is what he has done for the club. I think they're gonna have the fighting spirit. We're gonna rip Diogo Jota, man. What a legend, absolute superstar. And think we're gonna because they also sold Luis Diaz, so we're going to see more of Gakpo on the left, and of course Hugo Ekitike as well. They couldn't get they couldn't get Isak, but they got Ekitike.
I think it's
People
pretty good.
that say that German strikers don't do well, I'm telling you now, Hugo Ekitike will be up there for the Golden Boot, along with Benjamin Sesko
Wow.
and Gyökeres. I'm going to say these three are the top runners because you don't underestimate Bundesliga strikers, man. They can
I
go up.
mean,
I think that's what I think Liverpool are favorites for me.
No, no, underestimate them. Havertz and Nkunku scammed Leipzig and Leverkusen scammed us, so I can't
yeah.
trust Bundesliga strikers.
See, the Bundesliga tax story is a very famous tale. I mean, Chelsea fans know it the best. Like we have suffered immensely from the Bundesliga tax.
Exactly.
You
That's
know, we
why
Because
are
you
even
guys
I
don't
thought,
know how to play them. That's the problem. Chelsea don't have because historically you have awful. I think the last good manager I think I remember was Jose Mourinho. Right after Mourinho has been, you had the same thing like United. Like United had awful managers after Ole they had terrible managers. And the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the last best United manager that I
why,
remember.
what are you?
brother. We
Yeah,
had what are you talking about? We had Conte.
Yeah,
We had Tuchel. I
Conte.
think our
we
last
had
coach
Thomas
Yes,
Tuchel.
Conte.
Thomas Tuchel. Man. I mean Thomas Tuchel. Come on, Thomas Tuchel. Respect,
Tom. Okay, I can.
respect, man. Respect, Thomas Tuchel.
Exactly.
Okay? Come
And
on, Champions
also,
League winner.
and also, don't forget, we played Havertz in multiple positions of his preferred. They just didn't click. It's not our fault, man. Come on.
I think Tuchel. I think it's being whitewashed from history. I think he deserves a lot of credit. I still hated the fact that he was sacked and that he fell out, but clearly that was never meant to be with this new ownership who wanted to do things very differently, right? I'm just glad they have found someone who they can trust to do things their own way. I honestly feel that. But I take your points about Liverpool being more balanced, and we have a comment in the chat regarding that. Random guy 101, big up to you. who says Liverpool is more balanced but got cooked by Palace. Which
No one cares about like and community shield. It's just like a
Oh,
curtain raiser. I mean, just
oh,
Crystal Palace were just lucky that game. They just got lucky and they won it.
I
I'm
don't
telling
think
you,
they're
yeah.
lucky.
Crystal Palace are not
Lucky
going to
that
do
would
well
be.
in Europe.
I would disagree
No,
there. I would disagree.
I'm
exactly.
saying I'm gonna be this. I'm this
No,
gonna be
no,
simple.
no. Sorry,
Let me
sorry, not
complete.
at
Let
all.
Okay,
Hello,
let
go.
me
hello, hello.
talk. Let me talk.
Okay, go. Yeah, what is your point? Why do you
So
think?
Crystal Palace, like they're a good team. No,
Hmm,
no shot. They're definitely a very competitive side.
hmm.
But the problem with Crystal Palace is, can they compete in four competitions? Do they have the juice to compete in four competitions like
No, of course
Premier
not.
League?
No one is saying that. No one is talking about
But
anything
that's
specific
the
or something,
problem with
right?
Crystal Palace fans think that they can win something. They can, repeat what they did last year. But they're
Why
forgetting the
not?
other teams. The other teams have improved drastically. Chelsea,
So,
goated, an unbelievable squad. They have really invested well. Even though some Chelsea fans, I'm gonna ask you three guys whether you're happy with the signings. But I feel Chelsea have done tremendously in the transfer window. Second reason, you're United, balling out, Cunha, Abuema. They will definitely be competing out for all three competitions. No Europe for them. So they will be, I could see United win a trophy next season. Some trophy. Not a Premier League title, definitely not. I'm just saying, they won the cup. I could see that happen because Premier League is too much for them right now because they have a new squad, and of course, the tactical things what Amorim would do with his three at the back and whether the players can finally gel in, of course, with the three at the back, and of course they have the front three. Who is going to be the front striker? It could be Zirkzee, Hoyland, Shesko. Well, Cunha can play in the wing. Abuemo can play in the wing. Who's going to be the striker for them? That's a big question mark. So I think, or if Hoyland, because some rumors that Hoyland is on his way out. I think that before deadline day, the deadline day is approaching now, so I think he's on his way out. So yeah, United could be favorite. The reason I'm not giving Crystal Palace enough flowers because I don't think if they focus on Premier League, they will sacrifice other competitions because they are in Conference League, which is a very easy competition. Like we saw, like Chelsea do it. But there are some other solid teams from like from La Liga, Bundesliga that have also qualified for that. I think they are gonna do well. All four of them, like all top four leagues, gonna dominate Conference League. But it comes to the last game. It comes to the main game. I think this time I think Crystal Palace is gonna falter. But they even though they won the FA Cup last time, they won the Community Shield. But I don't think this is gonna be the year where Crystal Palace win anything. I'm
I
sorry.
think.
This is a crazy. This is a crazy. Yeah.
Aki, I think the point was that that not that Palace's ambitions as a club in general. I mean, we obviously know it's hard to compete. See, they overachieved last season, right? We know this. We know this. Winning
Yeah,
FA Cup,
definitely did.
winning now Community Shield in the first time in the history. So that already Glasner has achieved, which no manager in Crystal Palace history has achieved. Yeah, matlab, that's a huge thing, है ना? But the point that I think we try to argue is that Liverpool can be competed against. I mean, it's not flawless, let's just say. But then again, I take that performance with a pinch of salt because Maka and Groundberg, who are there starting midfield pivots, were not even playing in that game. They
Yeah,
didn't even.
exactly.
So I took that game with a pinch of salt because I knew this is just like a experimental sort of preseason game that Liverpool is taking this as, and they cooked in the first half. I said this in my shot also
Yeah,
that
yeah, of
they were
course.
cooking in the first half. It's second half where Crystal Palace actually came back and took the game to Liverpool, and then Liverpool looked a little run out of steam by the end of it and didn't have enough power to
They
just
just got lucky. I think they just got lucky that game. I mean, I'm giving props to Glasner because they just got lucky because if Liverpool would play the full squad, like full squad that they play like in Champions League games or in Premier League games, then I don't think Crystal Palace would have any chance.
Hmm.
Like, if I would say Crystal Palace could have, if they had kept Ulisse in this game, for example, if Ulisse was playing right now, then
Hmm.
of course that game would never went to penalties. Olise could have done something because how good he is. We saw what he's doing in Bayern. There's an issue like with Crystal Palaces, even though they, of course, they sold him for a lot, but they try to reinvest in some good players. Like one of the biggest signings for Daichi Kamada from Eintracht Frankfurt. That was the biggest signing. Now he's injured. He's gonna miss a huge part of the season. He was one of the main. He was one of the main reasons why they were doing so well because he was making runs in the attacking midfield,
Yeah.
tracking back as well when it's required. Because he's like a workhorse. Now without Kamada, with all the injuries, and of course, it's have to be, of course, if Crystal Palace do get some easy wins. Of course, they have to beat the smaller teams, the lower league teams. Because if they don't can't get wins against the lower league teams, they will be a mid-table club again, and they have to rely on the cups again this time. And I don't think this time, if they do make it another cup final, I don't think they're going to win another cup final. It depends on a team who's facing. If
What
this,
about the Conference League? What about the Conference League? Do you think Crystal Palace can win the Conference League?
no, I don't think so because I've come to the Conference League as well because I'll make a prediction for that as well. But if we seek some of the teams that are in Conference League, like we have, I can see a list, but one team that definitely will be going all in for Conference League is Fiorentina. They have been
Yo, man.
they have been done dirty for last 2 seasons. I think this time first time this charm, and they have made some very good signings as well. In my Serie A prediction, I have put Fiorentina as a dark horse. But if they can get the results, they can also do well in league and the Conference League. So I think Fiorentina, for me, is the favorite to win Conference League this time, or third time's the charm. Crystal
But
Palace, I think, gonna go out in the semi-finals, or might make it final. But I think semi-finals they're ceiling in Conference League.
I think we so far have covered a lot of clubs. We've covered Chelsea. We covered a bit of Arsenal, City, and Liverpool, obviously, but and a bit of United. I'm actually going to point out. So, given that this is like we did competing ambitions and competing transfers, I want to know, are you? I wanted to get back to Ananya to actually ask him how does he feel? Have Arsenal done in this transfer window? Have they done enough, you think, to really compete?
Um, so yeah, first of all, we needed a striker and we signed a striker. So
Finally.
finally, but again, I think our team is more heavily dependent on Odegaard for creating chances. So if Odegaard uh, gets injured, I don't know how we will uh, play. Like a lot of chances because last season, if we see the stats, the number of attempts were also very less. So we were blaming the strikers on that, but actually the chances created were very less. So I think
When
that
Odegaard was injured, I remember in that period.
yeah. So and second is the depth in our squad again. So that's something we could have worked on.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, but
yeah.
much more satisfied than last season. But I'm not keeping any hopes from this team. So
It's dangerous to
because
keep hope.
I think persistence and the ability to perform under pressure is what makes you win the league. And I think Liverpool is the closest team uh, to able to do that because again, um, for City they are dependent on Rodri or KDB a lot,
Yeah.
and so that's why yeah, I think again Liverpool is more balanced in that perspective.
I don't. I mean, I would like to know also from Tejubai and Jim uh, about how did they rate our transfer window. Jim, let's start with you. What do you think? Do you think Chelsea have done enough in this transfer window, or do you think we lacked something, or do you think it was a okay?
I think Chelsea have had a terrific transfer window and can only still get better. They still got to sell some guys, but I think bringing in João Pedro, he's going to be an absolute stud. Liam Delap at his price with what we're seeing the market's doing right now with the price of strikers, just insane. We got him for 30 million. Yeah, I mean, you bring in Esteval, who you had signed, prior. I think Chelsea in the attack, they just have so many guys that can score goals. It's going to be so balanced. You talk about Liverpool being balanced, but Chelsea, you could argue, is just up there with them in terms of balance. So really like what we did overall. We'll see if we still bring in Xavi Simmons at this point. Garnacho seems like he's coming in. Gittins, I was talking about the other day. People are kind of forgetting about Jamie Gittins. You talk about the Bundesliga tax, and I get that, but he's an English guy. He came from City's academy, so I think he will be able to know the Premier League better. Yeah, I'm really excited for what Chelsea brought in, and think they can compete with anybody on any given day.
तेजू भाई आप क्या सोचते हो? What do you think?
First of all, of course, while the Club World Cup triumph and all was really good, I still really have to see Joao Pedro in a long season. Because if you see his record last season, also most of them were penalty goals. So I really have to see. Of course, if this form continues, I would say around 15 to 17 goals each by Delap and Jackson would be like satisfactory for me to say like they both were good signings. Gittins, of course, excited, even though there is some like Bundesliga tax, of course, and our record with Bundesliga signings, but excited to see. I feel like he could be even more like direct and destructive because of the amount of freedom that Maresca gives to his wingers. So I'm hoping he would have a good season. Honestly, I would prefer only Javi Simmons, but it looks like Garnacho, we are quite close now. And maybe you never know, the connection with Enzo Fernandez hits off, so maybe it can be good. And of course, competition on the left wing between Gittins and Garnacho could be good. Honestly, I would say if I have to rate the window, I would rate it so far like an 8 or 8.5 out of 10. Like already the amount of sales that we have done and the players we have bought, of course, for potential and all, they're quite good. But of course, till the time Jackson and Nkunku, particularly I would say Nkunku leaves, I'm not like fully satisfied. Get Nkunku and get Nkunku out of the club for the right price, and I would say like it is almost a near perfect 10 out of 10 window for me.
Yeah, I mean, this morning Nkunku's heating up to Bayern. A lot of tweets about it. So
Yeah.
Let's
They're
hope.
looking. The only reason Nkunku is joining Bayern because of Musiala's injury.
yeah, that's what
Because
they want him on
Musiala is
loan.
definitely out for like is it ACL. I mean,
Yeah.
thanks whoever injured him is an absolute idiot.
No, it's
Because
Musiala's injury and also it is Coman's transfer. It is both of
Coman is
these
I think
factors.
going to
That is why
Saudi, right?
Bayern is going
Coman
for.
is linked to Saudi
Yeah, he
league.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
He is.
is
Yep.
I think Al Nasser. It
confirmed.
is
It
Al
is
Nasser.
confirmed. Al Nassr, yes.
I want to round it up how I rate our transfer window. Actually, I had an interesting comment from random guy here. So random guy says Chelsea has spent something like 2 billion in the last 5 years for transfers. Crazy. Tell you what, I will share you the official data of net spend of all major Premier League clubs, and this is official data. So let
1
me bring
billion
up.
is like exaggeration. I think it was made by
This
the
is
haters.
No, see, we gotta get to the facts. If you're talking about, I want to talk about facts, as Rafa Benitez and
Facts,
Sinisi said. The
facts,
facts. So facts. Let's
facts.
talk about facts, right? Okay. So here's the net spend table. This is Football 365, and just published like literally a few hours ago. Okay, and Manchester United have a higher net spend, by the way, than Chelsea in the past 5 years. As you can see, it is almost a negative 724 million pounds. Chelsea is
Bad
second
time.
with 688 net negative million pounds spent, but that is not much ahead of Arsenal, by the way, who's down there third with 611 million pounds. Now, if you want to back this up with facts about what Arsenal have done in the past 5 years and Chelsea have done in the past 5 years, random guy,
Oh, okay. That's
who has
like putting salt in the wounds of Arsenal fans. Come on.
we must also take that
You're
into
not doing good. Arey yaar.
right. We have Spurs there somehow up there also. Okay. I mean, hell, they have a European trophy to show for it, I guess. And all the way down is Newcastle on fifth with minus 390 million pounds. And we have City. City, obviously, we know have become way more financially sustainable, but they're still in top six, so that's like a negative 350. Liverpool down below as we expected. We know they don't spend much. This is the only window where they have really heavily splashed the cash, so they're down like around like a minus 300, and the rest is filled by obviously other teams like West
West
Ham.
Ham 8th.
West Ham is
My
also
God.
eighth, which is very surprising to me to see West Ham up there. And even Nottingham probably is up there along with Crystal Palace in 10th, which is very, very interesting. Given these facts, right now, we all saw on the screen, like, okay, we are Chelsea's the second spender in the past 5 years, yet we're not too much ahead of the likes of, say, Arsenal, and who spent a similar amount, right? And have not have anything really tangible to show for it, really, right? And I mean, they've done better in the Premier League. Yes, of course, we cannot deny what Arteta has done. We cannot deny the work he has done with Arsenal, has improved them immensely, has built like a spine, has built up leaders like Odegaard and Saka and whatnot. But yet, I love this narrative of Chelsea spending 2 billion, like somehow continues showing up without taking into account that we actually are very good sellers, unlike Manchester United, who
Yeah.
are not.
Because you have 50 players, man. Come on. You can sell so many players. You
No,
have 50
why
plus players
it's
in your
not it's
roster.
not about 50 players. Why this is one thing that we have to say about Chelsea's, whether it is recruitment director or whoever is selling the players, like they are getting the right prices for them. They are quite efficient. Like Dewsbury Hall straight away sold in one season. Uguchoku, I remember I read somewhere Uguchoku, Broa and Dewsbury Hall together they generated 100 million annual for us when we sold them on the same day only. Like you have to, in that sense I would say like they are quite efficient and good, whether it's the directors or whoever like Chelsea has hired to sell the players.
But would you not like relate it because these players could not make a move, could not make a mark in Chelsea. Like you three are Chelsea fans. You have been following this club for like so many years. You know Chelsea have a history of signing youngsters. I mean, this from the new ownership, they have been now. It's like too much. I would like to know what Jim has think about it because you see, have so many youngsters like Ojoku, like Irogbenom, whatever that guy's name is. Like, what's I can't pronounce it.
don't
Pronounce his
don't
name.
don't say the name if you don't know it. Don't say it. Shut up.
Irogbenom, whatever the is an English guy.
Shut up.
Irogbenom. We have
Shut up.
okay. We have you had Broha as well. So all these players you signed because you expected them to do be the next big things in Chelsea. It just didn't work out. So
I mean,
isn't like other clubs think that these players still have something in them? That's the reason that they're paying so much for these players. It just didn't work out at Chelsea. So it's like I do believe that Chelsea recruitment is amazing and the sales have been amazing. But is it just not reason that these players are they just didn't work out in Chelsea and now they're moving to other clubs and now expected to do well? Like that could be one of the reasons like why Chelsea have been so good in spending and selling.
I disagree that Chelsea sign all these players and expect them to be great. I think part of their strategy is buying young players and not expecting them to be part of Chelsea. I think you're throwing darts at a ton of young players. X% of these players will end up working out well for Chelsea and become stars. Your Estevals. And then I think some of these guys, you're kind of expecting that you're never going to play on Chelsea, but you're going to make profit. A guy like Georgi Petrovic that we signed, even though he has a great year for Strasbourg, our sister club, I don't think Chelsea ever expected for him to play for Chelsea, but they knew they'd make easy profit on him. So I think that's a huge part of the strategy, and other clubs I don't think really do that. I mean, you look at some other clubs, even big top six clubs, their best sale would be Felix getting sold to Saudi Arabia, and that's like way down on the list for Chelsea.
Yeah. I think what see. I've told this to Jim on his podcast also, and I think we have also discussed it. Yeah, like a lot of times, Chelsea's transfer window madness is often confusing, frustrating, also infuriating, and whatnot. I have not, I'm not fully still on board with it, but what I do understand, I've started to understand it a bit more, right? Because I used to only think that we don't have a spine yet, and yet we are going out spending money on these young people. Why are we doing this? Now that we have a bit of a spine, right? We have a Colville in defense. We have your Caicedo and Enzo in the midfields. You have a Palmer there up top, and we have a Neto also who's becoming a huge fan favorite. And who's a very I think he was the most underrated player in this Chelsea squad right now, in my opinion, is Pedro Neto. Nobody rates him that highly. I rate him very highly, definitely. Is that now that we have this base, you can now I actually feel that okay, maybe we can afford to throw darts at these young talents. And the strategy is very simple. You buy them at like a so-called at a low cost plan of payment spread across a number of years, and the number of years of contract is obviously we know is like a minimum like a seven or a 6 or an 8 and whatnot, which is given to these young kids, and we let them go to these to either to a sister club to Strasbourg, or we loan them out as a potential deal, or loan them back to their club which we bought them for, like as we did with Estevao, so that they can get more game time, develop before coming back in. I mean, there are obviously special cases within these things. Like, for example, Estevao was a case where I think the Chelsea directors were really pursuing Estevao. They had to literally go to Brazil, convince him to come play, convince his family, pay out his future. And that's why he's getting immediate game time also. Not only that, because of that, he's getting game time. I think he's a special talent. Like, when you saw Eden, it almost reminds me of how Eden Hazard came into this league and just lit it up from day one. The first game he came on, you could just see this guy was levels ahead. And when I see Estevao, he gives me that feeling. I'm getting literally goosebumps right now just thinking about what he did with that ball. Against Leverkusen. Oh my goodness. I mean, he he doesn't even speak the language yet. He doesn't know English. Well, he doesn't even probably understand half his teammates. He probably doesn't understand half of the things probably Maresca is saying. Yet, he was playing like he has been playing here for decades. It almost felt like that. So, yes, there are going to be many Uguchukus who will not work out and will be eventually sold. But then again, it's like a win-win for the club because the player is going to a place where they get game time. They're not too unhappy about it. And at the same time, the club has flipped it for like a marginal profit, and for their books are squeaky clean. They're like, okay, nice. Like, off you go. Same with Dewsbury Hall. We knew he was never good enough for Chelsea. We already knew that. We always knew that. We always knew that he was almost like a stopgap kind of sort of buy to appease, I guess, an English fan base when Gallagher left last season, right? I almost felt like that it was a sort of a way to appease the English fan base of Chelsea. But then eventually, we already always knew that he was never probably going to start for Chelsea. Like, the levels are too big at Chelsea to fill in that gap. And he's nicely gone away. But like, once again, what a net profit of like 5 or like 6 million pounds on it, and it's great business,
And he was still a good player, right? Like, you used to like whenever you come on like on the live stream, we used to talk about Lord KDH a lot.
Lord KDH, as we called him.
But we could see him. We could, like, I don't know what how Chelsea fans think about him, but there was a good player inside of him. Like, he was definitely very good. Like, he was balling out at Leicester. Like,
I think
it could be like he couldn't. You could say like a failed move, but for like a financial, like from financial perspective, it was a win-win. Yes, it was.
Of course, and I think even Lord KDH got his move. Now he's in a club like Everton, where we will definitely get more game time, where the pressures of performing at that level are not like there at Chelsea. So it's a different set of expectation. It is how that old school fans like Ananya will remember, like that infamous transfer of Robbie Keane to Liverpool, right?
Oh,
for example, when Robbie Keane came from Spurs to Liverpool back in 2008-2009 season, there was this huge expectation that Robbie Keane will come, he'll light up Liverpool because he plays well so for Spurs. But what Robbie Keane didn't realize is that the level of expectations from a club like Liverpool were far greater than a club like Spurs. You couldn't drop stinkers game after game. Your fans were not going to get immediately behind you because you needed to prove your worth to fans. And then eventually, like half a season later, literally in January, Robbie Keane is sold back to Spurs because it was not working out. And that sometimes happens in football, like you are not sometimes, and it's a competitive sport after all, and you're playing at the top level, and small margins make a difference in how, and it is not, and the margins are not only determined by the talent a player has, but also the mentality the player has, and what they're willing to do. For example, mentality of a Frank Lampard was like top notch elite level mentality. He was never the most talented footballer. He was never the most skilled footballer. He was never even the most gifted footballer that you saw in the Chelsea squad. But he was a
Hmm.
baller when it came to playing. He just knew, because his hard work, his mentality, that he needed to succeed, that he wanted to be the best midfielder in the world and to help Chelsea win the top titles. He knew that he had to work his ass off to get there. And he obviously had the potential, but he was never going to be a flashy or more crowd pleasing and eye pleasing player like a Gerrard, who was clearly a more eye pleasing player to many people of that generation, right? We always used to have these debates. But I think that's what the key difference now I see in our transfer policy, where earlier it was very frustrating, especially when we didn't have any success on the pitch, especially when we were struggling to find an identity, a stability of sort. But now that we have a stability, I really don't mind signing the young players anymore. And I think I'm kind of used to it now. But obviously, and now the question I want to pose is the kind of transfer even Garnacho is. Like, I'm, I'm not happy with this
This
transfer.
is like the like
Like,
this is
no.
like just like an egoistic transfer. Like Chelsea just want to prove that we are signing players from the best teams in the world. Like, come on, like Garnacho is one of the most overrated players I've ever seen. His only reason, the only thing he's known for is bicycle kick against like the bicycle, like Rooney-esque bicycle kick that he did. That's the only thing he's known for. He he
Yeah.
he doesn't play well for Argentina. I'm a big Argentina fan. I liked following the national team. He doesn't do anything for us, for Argentina. He like really even performed last season for United. Eventually, Amorim forced him out of the club because he just told him to get out. He just is nothing. He's not a good player. Like he's nothing special about him. He's
Jim,
literally
Jim,
nothing.
Jim, I want to take Jim on this. Jim has some point to make. Jim, would you like to take this up?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this, on my podcast when I had you on. I just think Chelsea viewed things as a market opportunity, and that's exactly what this is. If they can get Garnacho for 30 million coming out of a United squad where every player that's left has done better, you're seeing it in your squad with Rashford. So I think you have some knowledge on this that players can get better. We saw it
Like
with
even
Sancho.
Rashford, like I was never like as a Barca fan, like you guys are talking like we have our league is a mess right now. La Liga is currently a mess right now because nearly 144 players across 58 clubs in La Liga and the second division have not been registered. And a lot of people are asking question marks about this system, like why can't we just adopt the Premier League style ownership systems, Premier League style management? Why are we still living in like 20 years in past?
Hmm.
Like, why are we doing this? Like, a lot of clubs are now getting damaged because of this. I mean, I get Barca, we were damaged because of our own decision making, and I agree with that. But despite that, we are still competitive. Like, we're still trying our best. Like, when everyone last season, when we won the La Liga title, everyone said Madrid is going to win it because Barca all kids, and 17-year-olds, like, this is like a makeshift Chelsea because they're signing youngsters from La Masia, makeshift Chelsea. We got slandered a lot. What happened last season? We were favorites to win Champions League. Somehow we lost to a B-Tech Inter Milan side. We won La Liga. We won Copa del Rey. We won a domestic double. What else a club can do in a situation like this? And we still have the financial difficulties right now. It's not solved, but we are still trying to do our best to survive. Still trying to be competitive. Madrid can do whatever. Madrid is spending insane amounts of money. No one's
But
talking
but
about them.
Aki, what about Jim's point? Jim is trying to point out that you can see in preseason, Rashford is already a bit balling out a bit,
Of
right?
course, Rashford is he's doing well, but I want just like what Tejveer Bhai said. My brother Tejveer said he wants to see Joao Pedro do a full season, not a
Hmm.
Club World Cup. I also want to see Rashford do a full season in La Liga.
Yeah.
And like our first game week is against Mallorca, which is a very good side. Like they have also invested very well in the
Yeah.
window
Yeah.
recently. We will talk about La Liga as well,
Yeah.
surely.
Right.
But they're like the Brighton of La Liga. They always
Hmm.
finish like 8th, 9th, 10th. Sometimes they even finish top 4, but then just fall off because they don't have the squad enough for that. But they are definitely like a team to, and this is definitely not going to be easy game. The first game, I mean, Real Madrid, like, even they have their own injury issues because they just finished Club World Cup. And the first game is this their first, they have the first game of the game week one. I don't know who they're facing, and they have their own injury issues as well. And
Osasuna.
of course,
Yeah, Osasuna.
Osasuna, which Osasuna we saw, they are also very good club. They just won, I think, a few years ago. They won the Copa del Rey. Few years ago, I think, I believe so. They made it to the final. They're
They
also
did.
very good club. So like we talk about Premier League being the most competitive league, Premier League being the greatest league in the world. It's not the case. There are other leagues that also exist. I would say like a Premier League like La Liga is also competitive. Serie A is also competitive. Like Bundesliga is also competitive. What we saw last season with Mainz, what they did, they were at one point they were second in the league behind Bayern, competing with Bayern for a Bundesliga title. Like, come on, like this all Premier League thingy, like oh no, Premier League is whatever. But you have the money. Yes, you have the most viewership, but doesn't mean that you are the best league in the world. I would say like how many titles like last like obviously you have to give respect to some other leagues. Like we always slander about Liga or Liga being this is a Farmers League. Yes, it is Farmers League. But a French Liga team won Champions League. Like come on, like and they and that same PSG who people say are a Farmers League team, they knocked Aston Villa out. They knocked Liverpool out. They knocked Arsenal out. Three Premier League teams continuously. Does that make a PSG a better team than all these uh, Premier League sides? Well, you could say so from last season, but I could like if Liverpool were to face PSG this season in Champions League, I could see Liverpool not lose. If it's like a league phase game, I could see a draw from it because Liverpool have improved and PSG have also improved because they signed Chevalier, a new goalkeeper. आपको
Oh, yeah, they got a
Donnarumma
new keeper. Donnarumma is out. Donnarumma, yeah. He didn't
Donnarumma
play
is
this.
joining Man City now. Donnarumma is joining Man City now.
Is this legit? Is this
I
some
think
legit
I
news?
believe he reportedly agreed terms with City, but because still has a contract left, right? So they still have to pay some money to uh, what do you say PSG because he still has some year and some few months remaining on his contract.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's not confirmed yet, but he is set to join City now. And Ederson is on his way out as well. Some rumors
I,
have
I,
it.
I
Ederson
think
is also on his
I
way
think
out.
Donnarumma to City is a great. I think, but I don't know how. But the thing is, I don't know if he's an ideal replacement for Edison because he is nowhere near in distribution as an Edison is. Like Edison's distribution is elite. Obviously, in short stopping,
I
there's no
think
one
they're
better in the
taking
world.
about his short stopping abilities because his short stopping ability, he's arguably the best goalkeeper right now. Like no
Yeah,
goalkeeper can come close to him right now
yeah,
because
yeah.
like
That is true. But coming back to also to this thing, like Teju bhai, what do you think? Do you think Garnacho to Chelsea? Do you think Garnacho can really turn it all around? Bhai,
I
when it comes
mean,
to Chelsea, right?
if I'm being honest, I believe he can turn it around. Of course, like Sancho also, you could say kind of had a bounce back season last year when he played for Chelsea. Maybe a new environment also having Enzo Fernandez. I personally do think they would be communicating and all. And I don't
I
know, let's see. But I do think and I hope if it goes through, maybe Garnacho can prove his haters, United,
तुम्हें लगता है कुछ
everybody
देख
else wrong.
yeah पता है तेजू भाई क्या क्या सीन है? मुझे जब जैसे मैंने देखा था, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल some new comments, big up to Daniel, everyone, big up to everyone in the chat. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and big up to everyone who showed up. Please go to Jim's channel, always buy in Chelsea. He was on here. Big up to him for showing up. But to get it back to Teju bhai's point, Teju bhai, तुम्हें लगता है कि गार्नाचो का, बस देखो गार्नाचो और सैंचो दो प्लेयर जो अब पोटेंशियली, एक तो प्लेयर आ चुका था चेल्सी में, एंड ये एक तो दानियल भाई ने बोला है सैंचो फॉर 15 मिलियन
Freedom sale, 15 million buy.
भाई ने बोला भाई बेचो इसको भाई, इसको इसको रिहा करो. बट सच बताऊं, मुझे पता है क्या है, मुझे एक्चुअली सैंचो का, मुझे क्या सीन लगता था, सैंचो का पोटेंशियल काफी है, क्योंकि सैंचो का बस ये है कि पेस नहीं है उसमें, उस और वो शूट नहीं करता ज्यादा, नहीं तो भाई का गेम बहुत बड़ी, सेंस बहुत बढ़िया. These are two biggest flaws जो मुझे लगते थे सैंचो में. मगर गर्नाचो में यार, गर्नाचो इज लाइक स्पीड मर्चेंट, लाइक वो
Just like half the PSG squad right now. Speed merchants.
मतलब सच में यार, मतलब तुम देखोगे उसके, तुम आधे ही भाई उसकी फिनिशिंग, माशाल्लाह, तौबा तौबा भाई उसकी फिनिशिंग, मतलब सच में भाई
वो एक बाइसाइकिल किक से भाई पता नहीं कैसे उड़ के मार दी इसने.
उसकी गलती से
उसकी फिनिशिंग माशाल्लाह है.
मतलब तौबा तौबा, वो ही इज कंपीटिंग उस मामले में विद निकोलस जैक्सन एंड डार्विन न्यूनेस.
निकोलस जैक्सन, डार्विन पुनियस,
मतलब सच में यार, वो इतने बुरे फिनिशिंग है उसकी. तो मुझे ऑब्वियसली मैं खुश नहीं था इतना गर्नाचो के न्यूज़ से. हाँ कि इवेंचुअली पता नहीं जिम ने सही कहा
होगा, मैं बैकअप ही रखेंगे उसे.
हाँ बैकअप ही, मुझे लगता है वो बैकअप ही होगा. और क्या होगा, ज्यादा से ज्यादा इसको गेम टाइम, शायद कप कंपटीशन में गेम टाइम मिल जाए, अगर कप कंपटीशन में डीप रन हो जाए,
या फिर वो जो छोटी टीम्स हैं चैंपियंस लीग की, जो स्मॉलर टीम्स हैं उनके
उसमें से थोड़े से गेम्स खिला ले. लीग्स में बीच बीच में जब बहुत हेक्टिक शेड्यूल हो रहा है, उसमें भी शायद एक दो गेम स्टार्ट कर लेगा बीच में. मगर आई डू नॉट सी हिम रिप्लेसिंग एनीवन इन दिस स्क्वाड.
और ये ऑफ द बेंच आ जाएगा लास्ट मिनट्स में, लास्ट 15-20 मिनट्स.
यार द थिंग इज, मैं अगर ऑनेस्टली बोलूं ना, ऑफ कोर्स अगर मेरी प्रेफरेंस हो, आई डोंट वांट गर्नाचो टू कम, ये तो मैं भी मानूंगा डेफिनेटली, हमको जरूरत नहीं है बिल्कुल. बट द थिंग इज, अगर एरिक टेन हाग के भी अगर तुम अंडर देखो ना, गर्नाचो का तभी बेस्ट टाइम एंड बेस्ट सीजन रहा था, उसने उतना प्रोडक्टिविटी दिखाई हुई है. द ओनली थिंग इज, उसको ना मे बी वो एनवायरनमेंट एंड वो अनलॉकिंग ऐसा चाहिए. आई थिंक वो एमोरम के सिस्टम में इससे नहीं चल पाया, क्योंकि एक तो अगर वो लेफ्ट विंग बैक या लेफ्ट मिड खेलता, उसके पास वो डिफेंडिंग ड्यूटीज का उसको आदत नहीं है. एंड फिर और फिर वो 3-4-2-1 या 3-4-3 जो खिलाता एमोरम, उसमें इनसाइड फॉरवर्ड टाइप गर्नाचो वैसे खेल नहीं सकता, वो बाहर उसको खेलना ही होता है. आई थिंक चेल्सी में बस सिर्फ वो फ्रीडम मिलेगी, एंड मे बी एंजो फर्नांडिस है, और अगर चलो एरन एंसल नीमो को भी ऐड कर लो अगर अर्जेंटीन टीम में, तो हाँ मे बी, यू नेवर नो, एक वो उसको कनेक्शन अगर देखा जाए, आई मीन आई डोंट नो, लिसांड्रो मार्टिनेज में भी इतना पिच जितना इंजर्ड रहा है यूनाइटेड के लिए, तो उसका मे बी वो अर्जेंटाइन कनेक्शन उतना बना नहीं है. यहाँ पे फर्नांडिस फिट रहता है एंड ऑल, एंड मे बी यू नेवर नो, चेंज ऑफ सीनरी might just be the one good thing for.
I think one of the main reason United जो ना struggle करती है is Licha Martinez. Like he's called the butcher because he's very aggressive, runs बनाता है, वो was also good with his feet as well. उसकी injury I think one of the main reasons is why United struggled. I think
let us quickly round up our Premier League predictions. I will want everyone to give their top 6 for the season, and then we'll move on to
prediction नहीं करे first से like 20th कर सकते हैं.
Let's do top 6 for now, because I want to also take your golden boot predictions, most clean sheet predictions, and who do you think also will be a surprise player and a surprise team of the season. So 5 things I want to quickly ask you guys. चल अकी तेरे से शुरू करते हैं. Top 6 of your season for the Premier League.
Top 6, starting with 6th position, I have Newcastle.
Okay.
At 5th we have Spurs. Fourth, we have Chelsea. Third, we have City.
Hmm.
Second, we have Arsenal. First, Liverpool.
Okay. Teju bhai.
I would say six. Say six Nottingham.
हाँ.
Fifth, I would say Spurs. No, actually fifth Aston Villa. Fourth
Okay.
Spurs. I would say third Liverpool. Second Chelsea and first City. मैं थोड़ा यूनिक जाऊंगा इस बार.
Crazy.
Where's
Crazy.
Arsenal in this?
Oh.
Where's Arsenal in
I
this?
I I don't know. I don't know. The thing with Arsenal is मेरे को ना पता नहीं क्यों लग रहा है it's a hot take, but मेरे को यही लग रहा है कि आर्टेटा मिड सीजन सैक होने वाला है अगर आर्सेनल सही नहीं कर रही होगी जो मेरे को
That's a
लग
big
रहा है.
one. Bombshell.
What a prediction. Right on this child. Teju bhai is very crazy.
And
bold
relegation कौन होगा? Relegate कौन
मजा
होगा?
आ गया, मजा आ गया. I love it. Spice होना चाहिए यार. थोड़ा spice लाओ, मसाला. भाई, I love
Yeah.
it. भाई, बहुत बढ़िया.
अब
बहुत
relegation
बढ़िया.
का भी ऐड कर दो. अब relegation का prediction दे.
very easy. Why? Relegation is very easy for me.
हाँ,
It's
relegation
Wolves,
करो, चलो.
मेरा
Brentford.
relegation मैं start करता हूँ, रुक जाओ. मैं
बोल.
20th position I have Burnley.
Yeah.
19th position I have Brentford.
Wow.
And 18th position I have Wolves.
Wow. Wolves, Burnley,
Sunderland
and
stay up, Leeds stay up.
बाप रे. Crazy. तेरे तेजू तुम बताओ तुम्हारे relegation के लिए candidates कौन हैं?
I am saying मेरे लिए है Wolves, not in a particular rank, but I think Wolves, Brentford, and last मैं honestly बोलूँगा Leeds because attackers उन्होंने इतने sign नहीं किए and Leeds का like मैंने मैनेजर का सुना है कि वो बहुत attacking style के लिए defensive solidity बहुत ज़्यादा उस पे फिर like focus नहीं करता और उसको sacrifice करने के लिए तैयार रहते, तो मेरे लिए ये टीम है. Even I think इस बार 2 टीम survive करेगी जो प्रमोट हुई है.
अनन्या भाई,
just to add, मैंने Leeds in my prediction I put Leeds 16th and Sunderland 17th. So they are this will be a relegation battle.
promoted teams को पूरा survive करेंगे. Interesting take भाई. अनन्या भाई, तुम बताओ तुम्हारे I want to know your top 6 and your bottom 3. तुम क्या सोच रहे हो? What do you think
बस
will be?
एक बार वो जो आपने लिस्ट शेयर करी थी ना, तो उसमें बस एक चीज थी, आपने आर्सेनल चेल्सी की मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग वाला उसमें मिस कर दिया. आधे पैसे तो हम आप ही को ही दे रहे हैं. तो मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग ठीक चल रही है.
Money laundering. Oh my God, Arsenal Chelsea.
Top movement भाई on the stream guys. इसी बात के लिए यार like comment subscribe भाई.
मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग
जैम ऑन चैनल
यार.
और उन्होंने फिर से क्या बात कह दी भाई, माशाल्लाह भाई, क्या चीज कह दी उन्होंने इस चीज.
वैसे आर्सेनल को थैंक्स तो बोलना पड़ेगा भाई, हमको FFP में भी
बहुत
मदद
मदद
करती
कर रहे
है
हैं एक दूसरे की आप लोग.
और हमारा ओल्ड डेडवुड भी ले लेती है. प्लीज स्टर्लिंग भी लेना, वो भी ले लो हमसे.
Sterling
उसका-
तो लोन पर था ना लास्ट सीजन.
तभी
राइट
तो कह
विंग
रहा हूँ,
हमने
बहुत
खरीद लिया. लेफ्ट विंग में तुम्हारे पास है कुछ बेचने को तो बेच दो.
स्टर्लिंग है ना, स्टर्लिंग है, ले लो.
बेस्ट है, गर्नाचो को खरीद के बेच दो. गर्नाचो को खरीद के 10 मिलियन एक्स्ट्रा को बेच दो.
गर्नाचो वैसे चलेगा.
गर्नाचो तो बेटर है भाई. स्टर्लिंग तो कुछ नहीं करेगा. स्टर्लिंग क्या है?
नहीं, we have a really good offer for Arsenal. हमको 50 मिलियन दे दो स्टर्लिंग के लिए, हम वो 50 मिलियन गर्नाचो पे स्पेंड कर देंगे. It is a lifetime offer.
यूनाइटेड को भी भला होगा. यूनाइटेड को फ्री में एक्स्ट्रा पैसा मिलेगा. यूनाइटेड को.
अरे ना भाई, बताओ यार अपने टॉप 6 बताओ प्लीज, और आपके बॉटम 3.
टॉप 6 तो आई थिंक लिवरपूल, आर्सेनल, सिटी, उसके बाद चेल्सी, यूनाइटेड एंड फिर क्रिस्टल पैलेस एंड न्यूकासल होगा.
ओह,
चेल्सी को फिनिश. तो आपको लग रहा है चेल्सी विल फिनिश 4th या 5th?
4th,
Damn.
5th यूनाइटेड होगा.
अच्छा. एंड एट बॉटम 3 तुम्हें क्या लग रहा है?
बर्नले और
Burnley is everyone's shouting yes.
सनडरलैंड आई थिंक.
Sunderland.
Okay.
और
Interesting.
ब्रेंटफोर्ड आई थिंक.
मुझे भी लग रहा है, मुझे भी लग रहा है।
Sunderland
मैं भी
going down. I don't think Sunderland will go down.
मुझे
बल्कि
मुझे
अच्छा
लग रहा है मुझे लग रहा है कि मेरा टॉप 6 प्रेडिक्शन इज ऑफ द फॉलोइंग: लिवरपूल टू विन द टाइटल,
yes, of course.
आई थिंक सिटी विल फिनिश सेकंड, मुझे लग
Oi.
रहा है कि टॉप 3 में ब्रेक कर लेगी एंड दे विल फिनिश थर्ड, एंड fourth I will fourth I will put as Arsenal because
Okay.
I feel why, because मुझे लग रहा है they will really try to win a silverware because Arteta को पता है कि he cannot go another season without silverware,
Hmm.
and because उस push में it might affect their league season a bit, and but they'll win that probably, they might even win an FA Cup or something, मुझे लग रहा है I think they might just pick up a title and that will save Arteta's job, so hence I will say fourth for Arsenal. My fifth and sixth शायद मैं I will put United as fifth, मुझे लग रहा है बहुत इंप्रूव करेंगे वो इस सीजन, बट चैंपियंस लीग स्पॉट्स में शायद ब्रेक इन ना कर पाए इन द टॉप 4 एटलीस्ट जैसे अभी चल रहा है, एंड my sixth is shout in with maybe I feel probably Newcastle because on sixth, because I feel Newcastle will थोड़ा सा suffer once again because the squad depth
Champions League of course.
just like पहली बार जब उनको चैंपियंस लीग सीजन मिला बहुत सालों के बाद, they suffered, the domestic league season form suffered, और मुझे लग रहा है इस बार भी है, उनके पास डेप्थ नहीं है, उनके पास अभी इतनी डेप्थ नहीं है to cope with so many competitions, तो मुझे लग रहा है their season will suffer a bit and they will finish sixth. My bottom three मुझे है ना, तो मुझे बॉटम 3 तो डेफिनेटली लग रहा है ब्रेंटफोर्ड, क्योंकि दे हैव लॉस्ट थॉमस फ्रैंक एंड दे आर नॉट रिक्रूटेड वेल इनफ,
And Mbuemo, and they lost Mbuemo as well, and Norgard.
And Norgard, so they have lost two crucial
And
players.
Visa is also on his way out. Visa is also on his way out.
Visa is also then
Visa का लग रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा.
मेरे लिए ब्रेंटफोर्ड are my relegation favorites. I would also put down Leeds because Leeds, वही I think Fulkrug is still the manager if I'm correct. I'm not sure if he still is. But Farke is my fan of Farke is notorious. He did this with Norwich City also. He just concentrates on attack. He does not reinforce the defense a bit. And wo shayad will bite back Leeds. So Leeds are my second favorite to go down.
Brentford, Leeds and तीसरी कौन सी थी?
The Tisra, I will go with. I don't think Sunderland will go down because they have done options. And I think some of these signings will work out. मुझे लग रहा है, definitely work out. मेरा actually होगा Wolves, क्योंकि Wolves really struggled. And
Cunha की the only reason he survived was for Cunha. ना Cunha is gone.
Cunha's goals. अब Cunha से goal जब try होगी तो goals कहाँ से आएंगे Wolves के पास? They don't have anyone anymore. Like they've lost so many players over the years, and now Cunha भी चले गया, तो goals कहाँ से आने वाले हैं? I don't think I think कौन का striker मैं भूल जाता हूँ जो tall लंबा सा उसका L से नाम है, मैं I keep forgetting.
कौन?
Jürgen Strand Larsen.
Jakob Strand Larsen.
Not good enough to deliver the same
He's
amount
again Bundesliga player.
Another Bundesliga player. पाँच गए यहाँ पर. So these are interesting ones. Interesting. The most.
Any bold predictions? What is your bold prediction? जैसे मेरी एक bold prediction है. I put United and 8. I put United as 7th.
Player or a team this season.
मैंने Manchester United को 7th रखा है. Out of Europe again, despite all this. And another bold prediction that I have is, which you talk about Crystal Palace. I put Crystal Palace 11th. This is my bold prediction. I don't think they're gonna make it to European sports again, and you're gonna go trophyless. That's my bold prediction. And my golden boot winner, I have predicted João Pedro.
Wow, crazy shouted. Big up to John Blues, who predicts Chelsea to finish second. Big up to you, brother. Bhai, Teju bhai, तुम बताओ. Your bold prediction for the season. बताओ.
बोल्ड प्रेडिक्शन तो ऑलरेडी बोल दी भैया. आर्टेटा मिड सीजन
golden boot winner.
Honestly, Ollie Watkins.
Oh, that is a shout. That's a shout. Aston Villa.
Ollie Watkins प्री सीजन फॉर्म में बहुत बढ़िया रहा है, और इस बार अब एसेंसियो नहीं है, रैशफोर्ड नहीं है, वो गोल्डन बूट इस बार उसका है. मैं अभी बोल रहा हूँ.
And अच्छा, फिर अब भाई हरण्या भैया, please.
अरे भाई बताओ ब्रदर,
Bold prediction and
बोल्ड
goal prediction.
प्रेडिक्शन बनाओ, अब गोल्डन बूट बता दो और एक बोल्ड प्रेडिक्शन बता दो अपनी फॉर द सीजन।
गोल्डन बूट आई थिंक लिवरपूल से ही कोई लेके जाएगा।
Oh, कौन है?
ये
साला.
सलाह तो नहीं लेके जाएगा, उनकी गेम स्टाइल अब थोड़ा चेंज होगा मेरे हिसाब से। अब विंग वाला इतना ज़्यादा वो करेंगे नहीं,
नहीं
उनके
Okay,
पास
ठीक है.
स्पैम आ गया ना एक
हाँ।
प्रॉपर, वो लग रहा है वो चैनल ज़्यादा यूज़ होगा।
Oh,
तो जो भी वो
interesting.
मतलब उनका स्ट्राइकर होगा मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली आई थिंक लिवरपूल का स्ट्राइकर होगा।
बिल्कुल।
And फिर player of the season, who's going to be the my prediction? Cole Palmer, player of the season.
प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन कोल पामर, ओके, क्रेजी, नाइस।
Even though Chelsea are finishing fourth, लेकिन he's gonna cook everyone. He's gonna be absolutely amazing.
दैट्स
Cole Palmer.
डिसेंट शॉट भाई, डिसेंट शॉट भाई। तेजू भाई, क्या तुम्हें क्या लगता है प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन?
इसमें तो आई एग्री, मेरे को भी लग रहा है कोल पामर इस बार ना
Yeah, Cole Palmer.
he's ready for like a big season, maybe 20 goals, 10-15 assists and all.
Oi,
Even
20. That's
ओ
a good
भाई,
shot.
मजा आ जाएगा यार, मजा आ
If
जाएगा ऐसे
Cole,
भाई।
imagine
I-
if Cole Palmer wins the Golden Boot and the Player of the Season, first time in history होगा ये. First time. I
I
don't
mean,
think it's happened,
it
right?
would be nice, but मैं गोल्डन बूट तो नहीं बोल रहा, but मैं जनरल बोल रहा हूँ, मतलब 35-40 goal contributions तक, and I think it
Oh,
should be enough for
that's a
him
Ballon d'Or.
to win
That's a
the.
Ballon d'Or numbers, yeah. Ballon d'Or numbers, yeah.
No, those are Ballon d'Or numbers, but he will have to back it up with trophies. वो
Trophies,
अभी
I
ठीक
think
है,
Chelsea
अभी
can win.
अभी
I think Chelsea
हाँ,
definitely will be there. I think they might win a cup competition and might go deep in Champions League. I think depends on draw as well. Draw में क्या मिलता है सारे teams को.
अरे
मैं
भाई
एक
तुम्हारा
चीज
बताओ,
को
तुम्हारा, हाँ बोलो तेजू भाई, सॉरी।
The thing is, I actually like मैंने अभी कल ही ड्रॉप बाबा की शायद एक वीडियो देखी थी, तो he said right, उसने एक बड़ी यूनिक सी चीज बोली कि चेल्सी ना लाइक बैलेंस या chaos क्रिएटर्स है एक तरफ से, जो नॉर्मल चीज चल रही होती है ना वो तोड़ देती है। जैसे सब एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे PSG हमेशा स्मूथली चलेगी पूरी, अब सीजन क्लब वर्ल्ड कप सब जीतेगी, वहां पे फाइनल में हराया। सिटी जिस सीजन में सिटी को फाइनल में हराया था वो बेस्ट टीम थी, तब भी सिटी को हराया, तो चेल्सी को वैसी थोड़ी आदत होती है। सो एक तरह से चैंपियंस लीग का पुश हो सकता है, बट मैं अगर ऑनेस्टली बोलूं, एक तो कोलविल नहीं है, प्लस आई डोंट थिंक कि हम सेंटर बैक कोई साइन करने वाले हैं। आई फील लाइक हमारा इस बार फोकस प्रीमियर लीग ही होगा, एंड इसलिए आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग एटलीस्ट अ टॉप 2 फिनिश इन प्रीमियर लीग।
I think Chelsea can have the squad depth to compete in all competition. मुझे लगता है. I think
मुझे
I
अगर
mean, they
ऐसा
have the depth, honestly. Even I agree they have the depth, and इसलिए of course I feel like they don't need Garnacho and Javi Simmons. एक ही बहुत है,
जावी
but
सिमंस का
ठीक
तो
है यार।
कंफर्म्ड हो गया कि वो नहीं जाएगा
यार
लाइप्जिग से.
सब मुश्किल
पता
लग
नहीं।
रहा है विंडो खत्म होने से
हाँ।
पहले,
I
लेकिन
think
आई
they
होप
asking
तो
60
आपकी
million है
लास्ट
ना इसका
सीजन
प्राइस.
पे थी ना
70 60 ना 60-70 मिलियन है ना प्राइस जावी की ज्यादा.
60 million है, मतलब 60 million को
As same as
Leipzig
Nkunku
ने
का
and
ना,
Chelsea।
Nkunku का ही है.
60
Nkunku
मिलियन
वाला प्राइस ही
पाउंड,
था.
60 मिलियन पाउंड मांग रहे हैं लाइप्जिग, बट चेल्सी
Which is 70 million euros, right?
50 से ज्यादा नहीं, 50 से ज्यादा नहीं देता,
50
मुझे 70 मिलियन।
50 हाँ वो ठीक है.
तो यही वैल्यूएशन डिफरेंस भी है। अनिल भाई मुझे बताओ अपना, व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज गोना बी द प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन? तुम
आई
बताओ।
थिंक पामर ही रहेगा।
Oh,
लास्ट सीजन में
everyone, entire panel going for Palmer.
आई वुड एनोनिमसली एग्री विद आप सबके साथ, कुछ मुझे डेफिनेटली लग रहा है पामर का एक बड़ा सीजन आने वाला है।
अगर
वो
चेल्सी अच्छा
दिखाएगा।
करेगी तो पामर कर सकता है।
चेल्सी
But
अगर
I
चेल्सी
think-
टॉप 3 में आ गई, अगर मेरे जो हिसाब से जो मुझे लग रहा है, तो
हम्म.
yes.
आपके पास
तो
डेप्थ
I think
तो
पामर
लास्ट
बहुत बड़ा
सीजन पे थी मेरे हिसाब से स्क्वाड में। प्रॉब्लम तो आई थिंक वो है कि आपके कोई एक सॉलिड 11 नहीं है सॉर्टेड।
हाँ हाँ
डेप्थ तो
चलो,
आपके पास लास्ट 2 सीजन से थी, तो आई थिंक वो कभी इशू था नहीं चेल्सी
Yeah.
का।
yeah.
जैसे
And what's your
Liverpool-
like defender, goalkeeper of the season and defender of the season? Who's gonna be your
वो
picks?
सब तो Arsenal
My
का है।
goalkeeper of the season is gonna be. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Allison again. I think Allison is just Allison thinks. I think
मुझे
Allison's gonna be
गोलकीपर लग रहा है once again राया will I think come out on top.
Raya.
मुझे लग रहा
I
You
think
mean the
Allison.
golden glove ना? Golden glove
Golden
की
glove.
बात है।
है। मतलब कि लास्ट से भी
I
जीता
don't
था
know, ये टफ है यार, गोल्डन ग्लव ना ऑनेस्टली पता नहीं, ये बहुत टफ है।
नॉट
मैं
टफ है।
अगर बोलूं ना, मेरे को पता नहीं क्यों लग रहा है विकारियो होगा, अगर
Ooh,
स्पर्स की बैकलाइन फिट
Vicario
रह ले,
Spurs.
एंड And because I feel like Thomas Frank थोड़ा defensive solidity पे बहुत focus and all करता है, back three खिलाता है, which is indirectly a back five when defending. So इसलिए I feel
हाँ, the
like
full
Vicario
backs
हो
are
सकता है
running,
इस
wing
बार.
backs are running.
Interesting shout in. Interesting shout
And
out.
defender of the season, who's going to be the center back is going to impress the most? For me, it's going to be Gabriel
Guardiola.
Magalhaes. Gabriel
Guardiola.
Magalhaes.
मेरे
Wow.
Guardiola.
Guardiola. Teju says Guardiola.
I'd say
मेरे
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Guardiola.
मेरे लिए Gabriel Magalhaes. Gabriel from Arsenal.
क्या बात है Gabriel Magalhaes. Okay. Good. Ananya, तुम्हें क्या लगता है? Who will be the standout defender?
गेब्रियल एंड
Oh,
कीपर में
Gabriel, of
राय
course.
क्योंकि डिफेंस आर्सेनल का बहुत स्ट्रांग है. अब उन्होंने
Okay.
डिफेंसिव मिडफील्डर्स भी अच्छे ले लिए हैं, तो आई थिंक कंसीड बहुत कम करने वाली है. राय की लाइफ बहुत इजी हो जाएगी. एंड गलतियां थोड़ी बहुत करती है आर्सेनल, फिर भी वो उसी पे ही गोल खाएंगे मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली. तो डिफेंसिवली एंड गोल्डन ग्लव तो आई थिंक आर्सेनल के प्लेयर्स.
Raya.
That's.
Right.
I think I fairly सब लोग ये पैनल एग्री करेंगे कि आर्सेनल का डिफेंस will be one of the best this
तो
season.
आपका कौन है चॉइस फिर?
मुझे डिफेंडर ऑफ द सीजन मुझे I will go with different I'll try to go with a different shout. मुझे लग रहा है I somehow have a feeling City defense will be back, so मैं
Oh,
आपको बोलने वाला हूँ
Kusano.
to step up and actually I feel कि
Yeah,
मुझे लग रहा है
that's a bold one. That's a bold one. मैंने तो Kusano को
I will go with
overrated
both
बोला,
things. मुझे लग रहा है Kusano will have a big season.
I think
मुझे
I
लग
mean
रहा है City-
Kusano, interesting shout. And
Yeah.
golden glove
Kusano
आपका.
and
आपका
I think
golden glove.
he will definitely, I think given his age he'll be the best young player, obviously not the best
हाँ,
player.
yeah. और best young player कौन लगता है इस बार?
defender.
That's a good shout.
Keeper,
Best
I
young
think-
player.
बिल्कुल कीपर के लिए मैं बोल चुका हूँ आई थिंक सबकी सहमति है इस बात पे कि राया एकदम मिडफील्डर पे आऊंगा तो मैं क्लियरली आई हैव ओनली वन वर्ड इन माय पर्सन
Cole Palmer. It's Cole Palmer.
को मैं ज्यादा अटैकर मानता हूं देन मिडफील्डर राइट मैं टॉक अबाउट मिडफील्ड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट बेसलाइन मिडफील्ड जो
हाँ वही.
तो उस
उसके
मामले
अगर
में तो
मिडफील्ड की बात करनी हो तो वर्ड्स कह सकते हैं. वर्ड्स इज अ मिडफील्डर प्रॉपर.
Words can be is a great shout out shout in मुझे I think अगर तुम please go with words तो मैं तेजो भाई तुम्हें क्या लगता है मिडफील्डर कौन स्टैंड आउट रहेगा प्रीमियर लीग में
Apart from Cole Palmer, apart from him, जैसे उसको छोड़
Cole
के.
Palmer तो अटैकर ही है. Even I
Attacker ही है वो
मिडफील्ड
मिडफील्डर
में
प्रॉपर
मैंने बोला
सेंटर
वर्ड्स.
यार मैं बताऊँ आई फील लाइक बिकॉज एक तो ब्रूनो फर्नांडिस 8 खेलता है, तो मैं कहूँगा मेरे लिए ये तीन रहेंगे बिटवीन ब्रूनो काइसेडो एंड राइंडर्स एंड एक डेक्लन राइस. ये चार मैं बोलूँगा.
I said Reinders is also doing well.
actually
मैं-
that's
मैं
a great
ये
shout
चार
in
बोलूंगा.
Landers also बहुत बढ़िया shout है मुझे बहुत बढ़िया shout लग रहा है मुझे
And
अरे भाई क्या लग रहा है आपको मिडफील्ड में कुछ कौन होगा स्टैंड आउट
मैं तुम सबके उससे एग्री करता हूँ, बट आई थिंक ओडेगार्ड आई गेस कर सकता है.
ओए,
काफी
अरे
क्रिएटिव
आसिफ है ना.
चांस
अरे ओडेगार्ड अच्छा है.
जरूरत नहीं है.
गुड
अगर इंजरी नहीं होती उससे तो
तो
स्टेप अप कर
नहीं.
सकता है.
यंग प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन. यंग प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन कौन लगता है इस बार? आप स्टार्ट करो भैया. यंग प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन.
I think Estevao Willian will be the young player of the season
कौन?
for sure. Estevao Willian
Estevao.
Willian
Oh,
will be the
Estevao.
young player of the season in my opinion. Estevao will I think he'll have a breakout season. He will be amazing in his debut season. मुझे I have feeling
एज डिफरेंस क्या है? एज क्या है उसके लिए? यंग प्लेयर के लिए अंडर कितना होना चाहिए?
I think under 19 or under is usually
Under
I think
19,
21 I think 21 or under I'm sorry is the usually the cutoff age for young player of the season 21 year under if I'm correct or
मैं
maybe
बोल्ड प्रेडिक्शन दे रहा हूँ. अंडर 21 है ना? 21 ईयर ओल्ड्स इंक्लूड होते हैं क्या? नहीं. 21 इज इंक्लूडेड राइट?
मैं
हाँ.
I'm just saying मेरा सीजन मेरे क्राइटेरिया क्या होता है भाई
Because if it's 21, then I have a bold prediction for
age
young players.
23 or younger 23 by 23 or
Oh,
younger
my prediction: Ryan Cherky. Ryan Cherky.
shit people
I
भाई हम
like
सो रहे थे
Ryan
Ryan
Cherky, man. बहुत
great
पसंद
shot
है.
भाई बहुत बढ़िया shot है बहुत
Ryan
बढ़िया shot
Cherky,
है
definitely. This guy
देखो भाई,
is gonna absolutely tear up defenses. Like
क्या बात
I think the best defenses need to stop this guy because this guy is so good.
तेज
Ryan
भाई
Cherky.
young player
I would say between Nico Riley या Miles Lewis Kelly.
Oh, that's a shout.
crazy
Two solid
Crazy,
fullbacks.
yeah.
Two solid fullbacks.
crazy shot, crazy shot, crazy shot.
रनने भैया
Different shot, भाई काफी चर्की से लेके इस्तेमाल से लेके बाइल्स लुइस केली, nice, crazy.
और ये
अनिल भाई,
निको रैली भी अच्छा है यार, अच्छा, मैं लाइक दैट प्लेयर, अच्छा फुल बैक है।
अनिल भाई बताओ आपको क्या लग रहा है यंग प्लेयर कौन स्टैंड करेगा नेक्स्ट सीजन?
मतलब मेरे को तो लुइस केली ही पता है, मतलब मैंने ज्यादा और ज्यादा मेरे को
लुइस केली
बहुत
बहुत
पता नहीं
सॉलिड
कितने youngsters हैं।
ही इज रियली इम्प्रेस्ड,
आई थिंक एक और अभी आया है आर्सेनल का, बट वो अभी प्रीमियर लीग खेल नहीं सकता है। आई थिंक वो 15 का है, बट उसको एक स्टार्ट
Oh,
देंगे।
अच्छा.
Down,
I know.
Dauman?
Max Dowman. हाँ.
हाँ,
मैक्स डाउमन,
वो look, he looks
दैट्स
fine.
वो अच्छा प्लेयर है, यंग आर्सेनल एकेडमी इज कुकिंग नाउडेज।
भाई वो एक्चुअली
वो
वो बहुत बढ़िया था वो
बट उसको भी मौका मिलना नहीं है, आई नो, बट
No, I guess too young now.
थोड़ा
Oh,
सा ही
even Waneri, Ethan Waneri is also very good Arsenal youngster. I think he could be something for the future. Ethan Waneri.
बट लुइस के लिए वो खेलने का मौका मिलेगा आई थिंक।
Waneri को भी मिलना
लुइस
चाहिए
के लिए
उसे।
तो मिल रहा है. The
Ethan
thing
Waneri
is
को भी चांस मिलना चाहिए।
मैंने वनेरी और ये अपना एस्ताओ जैसे प्लेयर्स को इससे नहीं इंक्लूड किया. आई फील लाइक दे वुड मोर बी लाइक कप कंपटीशन प्लेयर्स एंड नॉट प्रीमियर लीग में इतना
अच्छा,
मिलेगा
fair, fair,
But
fair.
चांसेस.
I have a feeling मैं इस वीडियो पे वापस आऊंगा और सबको बताऊंगा कि I told you Esteban Willian is going to light it up. And मैं मुझे
आपका
मतलब
Willian,
यार क्यों यार मुझे
future
ऐसी
Willian, new
यार
version,
सच में
Willian 2.0, Willian 2.0.
इनफैक्ट पेट ओए रिस्पेक्ट टू विलियन भाई बहुत बढ़िया प्लेयर
बहुत
है
अच्छा था, Willian was यार, बहुत
यार मुझे
प्यारा
लगता है
player।
इनफैक्ट अक्षय तुमने विलियन की जिक्र किया विलियन वाज बल्कि अनदर प्लेयर वी सोल्ड टू आर्सेनल बाय द वे विलियन का सॉरी अरुण भाई बट विलियन का जिक्र कर रहा हूं मुझे एक्चुअली पेड्रो
हर सबको याद आ रहे मनी
पेड्रो
लॉन्ड्रिंग, हिस्टोरिकल मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग।
तो मुझे एक्चुअली अगर देखा जाए इस स्क्वाड में मुझे लगता है पेड्रो नेटो रिजेंबल्स विलियन अ लॉट क्योंकि he has the same determination, burst of space and skills like Willian had, and the same defensive work rate which Mourinho also loved Willian for, which Neto has. कि वो पूरा भाई वो कितना defensive work rate is top notch man, excellent defensive work rate in pressing, falling back, supporting अपना full back वगैरह. So that is there. I think this is a great overview of the
And flop
season.
of the season. Which team and which player are the flop of the season? कौन सा player ऐसा flop रहेगा? कौन सी team
Oh, my flop of the
underwhelming
season is
or
crazy.
underwhelming? My prediction for flop of the
Or
season.
let's say underwhelming. That is the more accurate.
Underwhelming. अच्छा.
Underwhelming.
My shout for underwhelming or flop of the season. Let's start with team. The team that will be underwhelming is Nottingham Forest for me. Because अगर मैं prediction में वापस जाऊँ, because Nottingham Forest they did very well. I predicted Nottingham Forest 9th, which is underwhelming in their standards. I think Nottingham Forest will be the flop team of the season. And the flop player of the season, मतलब इसमें बहुत सारे new. It's going to be one of the new signings. I feel is, I think flop of the season बहुत option. I think one of them is Kusanov, I believe. I think Kusanov, I don't rate him highly. I think he's going to have another mid-season. I think Kusanov could be a shout. And another player, another flop of the season, I could be like, who one of Spurs ने किसको अभी नया खरीदा recently that they just signed.
Spurs में.
And it's a Spurs
Kudus.
player.
Kudus,
Kudus.
Matisse Tell.
I believe Kudus is going to be the biggest flop of the season. That's a bold prediction. I don't think Kudus is going to do. बहुत लोग hype कर रहे हैं. Kudus का बहुत लोग hype कर रहे हैं. वो मुझे लगता नहीं फ्रैंक का सिस्टम इतना है उसमें. फ्रैंक आई थिंक कुलुजेव्स्की लाइक प्लेयर्स है, कुलुजेव्स्की, ब्रेनन जॉनसन ज्यादा खेलेंगे कुडूस से. कुडूस will get his opportunities, but I don't think he's going to do that, be that guy. So I think Kudus is going to be a flop player of the season.
तेरे भाई, what do you think flop आपका होगा आपके लिए flop?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I feel like मेरे Frimpong है flop. I don't know. I feel Frimpong will be a flop.
That's a bold prediction. Nice.
I wouldn't say flop team तो यार बताना बहुत मुश्किल है. Like
Yeah,
कोई भी team.
Underwhelming मेरे लिए Nottingham Forest.
यार अगर मैं underwhelming बोलूँ, I feel like I would say Brighton slightly. I think थोड़ा सा lower टेबल में
That's a
फिनिश
good
करेगी. Like not, I am not saying relegation candidates, but I feel like maybe 12th 13th के around.
वो
मेरे को
that's
feeling है.
because Brighton को मैंने 10th predict किया है for next season. Mid table 10th position.
I would say
Another one-
Brighton मेरी underwhelming. हाँ.
Oh yeah, like even another shout could be Aston Villa कि मैंने Aston Villa को 8th predict किया है.
नहीं नहीं, I feel like Aston Villa इस बार बढ़िया करेगी. I predicted them 5th और मैंने Watkins को ऊपर से top scorer predict किया.
Depends
So
on like the
मेरे
squad
लिए तो
gelling up. I think वही है कि यूरोपा में कैसे और Aston Villa is playing Europa as well. तो देखते हैं यूरोपा में
वही.
कैसे करती है Aston Villa.
अनिल भाई, what do you think आपके लिए underwhelming player या क्लब होगा इस अगले सीजन के लिए?
I think Sesko.
That's you be shout. अच्छा shout है वैसे सेस्को का लग रहा है.
बेचारा मुझे अपने ही प्लेयर
United another small striker after Højlund, Zirkzee and Sesko. अरे भाई साहब
अपने
dynasty बढ़
फॉर्म
गई.
में ट्रांसफर टारगेट को जिसको हो सकता है. That's a good shout. That's a decent shout है.
Sesko I think हाँ और
और club?
flop team underwhelming team.
Underwhelming club.
I think Spurs. उसके अलावा
Spurs. Oh.
मुझे वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग मेरे लिए क्योंकि दैट्स वेरी डिसेंट शॉट है मुझे, लेकिन लग रहा है कि अंडरवेलमिंग टीम होगी न्यूकासल, क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा है
ओए.
न्यूकासल थोड़ी फ्रस्ट्रेटेड सी लग रही है इस ट्रांसफर विंडो को लेकर, क्योंकि एक तो इज़ाक उनका स्टार प्लेयर निकलना चाहता था और वो निकल नहीं पाया अभी, और
Now
ऊपर
he's
से
staying ना. अब तो stay कर रहा है.
अब तो रह ही रहा है, लेकिन थोड़ी सी अनसेटल फीलिंग तो आती है जब एक प्लेयर आपका
हाँ.
स्टार करने की कोशिश करता है, ऊपर से खास करके कि हम जानते हैं कि वो इतना पैसे नहीं खर्च कर पाए हैं क्योंकि एफएफपी की वजह से, मुझे अभी तक उन पे कंस्ट्रेंट बहुत है क्योंकि उनके रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम ही इतना नहीं है जिसकी वजह से वो खर्च कर पाए, जबकि उनके पास पैसे हैं कोट अनकोट इन्वेस्टमेंट.
Yeah, oil money यार, oil
हाँ,
money.
वो
Plus
लेकिन खर्च
Champions League as well. Plus Champions League competition.
एफएफपी की वजह से वो नहीं कर पाते हैं, और वो
हाँ.
थोड़ा सा उनको फ्रस्ट्रेट कर रहा है उनके एम्बिशंस
Yeah.
को देख लो, है ना. जैसे शेस्को को देख लो, दे वर गोइंग आउट शेस्को बट इवन टू यूनाइटेड, जो भाई मतलब इतनी बदतर हालत में है, यूरोपियन फुटबॉल तक नहीं है, बट शेस्को चोज यूनाइटेड ओवर न्यूकासल
Because it like but the project na they are coming back because their signing is a statement. Like they are making a statement now.
obviously United is making a comeback. United का हेरिटेज क्लब है भाई, वो है बड़ा क्लब, let's be honest, you know, तो it's still a big name. So that
And finally,
तो
the first manager to be sacked. Who's going to be the first manager to get sacked?
Arteta.
oh my Arteta, oh my goodness.
My prediction is Scott Parker for Burnley.
Only मुझे actually wow, great shot. अनन्या, आपको क्या लगता है first sack of the season?
आर्टेटा जा सकता है guys, कर सकता है. अगर नहीं चला इसका तो फिर तो करेंगे.
मुझे लग रहा है the first sack of the season, I don't know, मुझे ऐसी feeling आ रही थी. I was looking across the club. The first sack of the season might even come. I'll go for a wild one. I'll go for a wild prediction. I have a feeling it just might be. It's a wild one, but even it could be Oliver Glasner. I'll tell you why.
Oh, ये तो है तो
Not that bad manager.
wild है. ये तो actually
मुझे ये लग रहा है क्योंकि एक हकीकी बात मुझे स्ट्राइक ये अच्छी तरह की कि उसने बोला कि यार क्रिस्टल पैलेस को अब यूरोपा लीग भी खेलना है, सॉरी कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग खेलना है. यूरोपा लीग तो डिना हो गया उनको, राइट, सीएस ने उनको डिनाई कर दिया उनकी अपील. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि उनका लीग फॉर्म बहुत सफर करेगा, और उनके पास इतनी प्लस मुझे इधर उनकी एक अनसर्टेनिटी ये भी रहेगी कि ऐसे निकलना चाहता है, एंड वो
ऐसे का भी बात है. एंड मार्टेटा का भी लिंक था ना पहले, मार्टेटा का भी
लिंक्स रहे हैं. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि समटाइम्स ऑफन क्या होता है, जो क्लब्स थोड़े से हाई रीच कर जाते हैं ना, जैसे लेस्टर 2015-2016 या लेस्टर आफ्टर एफए कप, उनका डिक्लाइन काफी फास्ट होता है क्योंकि वो
सारे प्लेयर्स जाने चाहते हैं, जैसे ड्यूसबरी हॉल के एग्जांपल.
बिल्कुल एंड मुझे एंड और पोर्ट्समथ जब उन्होंने एफए कप जीता 2008 में, उसके बाद
या विगन एथलेटिक या विगन का भी
आफ्टर विनिंग, जब उन्हें 2013 में सिटी को हरा के एफए कप जीता, उनका भी डिक्लाइन
डिस्पाइट गेटिंग रेलेगेटेड,
सीजन रेलेगेटेड भी हो रहा है. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि माय शाउट इज माइट बी ग्लासनर माइट फेस द फर्स्ट सैक ऑफ द सीजन.
एंड द सरप्राइज टीम ऑफ द सीजन, सरप्राइज टीम जो
इनफैक्ट
सरप्राइज भी करेगी,
हिम और डैनियल फार्के.
Oh, Daniel Falca as well. See,
Daniel
yeah,
Fark
वो
मुझे लग
सब
रहा है
तो
तो
beats कर रहा है.
first time.
And surprise team of the season. Surprise जो करने वाली सबको.
Who's gonna people? Teams which are going to surprise people presently. I want to. That's
I
a
think Brighton again. I think despite finishing 10th, they're gonna be like करेंगे कुछ मैजिक करने वाले. Hudzela के अंडर.
गुड शाउट इन मुझे लग रहा है द सरप्राइज टीम ऑफ द सीजन माइट बी स्पर्स क्योंकि
Oh.
Spurs had a terrible season. I think no one really expects them to do much in the league. लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो टॉप 8 में तो आ जाएंगे. ऐसा मुझे
I think
feeling है.
चैंपियंस लीग मिल जाएगा अगर EPS के ऊपर 5th पोजीशन पर शायद EPS.
Yeah, and they
Working.
तो I have a feeling people. I think Thomas Frank is actually a good manager. वो manager
He's
बहुत अच्छा
actually
है.
very good. बहुत अच्छा है.
He's बहुत बढ़िया मैनेजर है. एंड आई थिंक मुझे लग रहा है वो एक लेवल ऊपर शायद थोड़ा सा बेटर कर सकता है स्टेबिलिटी वाइज में फॉर श्योर इन टर्म्स ऑफ दैट व्हाट यू गाइस थिंक तेजू और अनन्या भाई बताओ क्या तुम्हें क्या लगता है
चेल्सी आई गेस अब टॉप 4 तो कर ही लेगी.
That's not surprising. We expected from them. Like वो तो expect है. अब ऐसी कोई टीम बताओ ना कि जो हम किसी को एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करते तो हमें पता है चेल्सी विल गेट टॉप 4. वो तो गिवन है.
थिंक उसके अलावा
भाई अक्षय तो अपने मुंह से मत बोल कि हमको टॉप 4 मिलेगा, तेरा कर्स स्ट्राइक कर जाएगा.
अरे नहीं होता भाई, कुछ नहीं है भाई. अच्छी टीम है भाई. चेल्सी जनरली अ वेरी गुड टीम. इस बार तुम लोग अच्छा करोगे.
मुझे लग रहा है तेजू भाई हैज टीम टू सजेस्ट फॉर अनएक्सपेक्टेड. क्या तेजू भाई क्या सोच रहे हो तुम?
आई मीन एक स्पर्स है और दूसरी सनडरलैंड है मेरे लिए.
हाँ सनडरलैंड.
ग्रेट आउट भाई. सनडरलैंड शूट साइनिंग तो कर रही है. बहुत एक्टिव रहे ट्रांसफर मार्केट में. बहुत
आई
एक्टिव है
थिंक
भाई.
प्रीमियर लीग टीवी मनी कमिंग टू द यूज.
भाई लेकिन उनको करना पड़ता है भाई. लाइक यू अगर तुम्हें प्रीमियर लीग में compete करना है, you have to survive, you have to spend यार, you have to get player जो आपको एक्सपीरियंस और क्वालिटी ला सके. एंड दैट्स
मैनेजर का भी वो होता है कि एंड में मैनेजर कौन सा है. लेकिन इफ लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल स्कॉट पार्कर का इसको वो पता नहीं क्यों हमेशा उसको जॉब मिल जाती है एक प्रमोशन टीम में चैंपियनशिप की, और फिर जब अगले साल आते हैं फिर उसको सैक करते थे. लाइक ही डजंट हैव एन हिस्ट्री ऑफ बीइंग गुड मैनेजर लाइक स्कॉट पार्कर. Even like Falk as well. Falk could be sacked, but I feel he might get sacked when they're in a relegation battle, and then we bring a new manager. I think then Leeds will survive because मैंने Leeds को 15th रखा, मैंने Leeds को 16th रखा है in predictions में. They will. I think if Falk does get sacked, they will bring someone else to help them. And also their Leeds is also Red Bull money है. उनके पास RB का money, Red Bull का money है. Leeds के पास.
yes, you're right.
They have and they spent well. Like they have made some huge. इनका Somerville बड़ा इतना अच्छा player. Sissesko Somerville is a very good talent.
Man City
All
to
three,
win the
big up to
Premier
you.
League.
Big up to you all three. Please
City
like
का
and
chance
sub to the
है.
channel and please keep the comments coming. Says Man City will win the Premier League. I think Teju bhai on our panel will definitely agree with you because he's also going
I
for-
agree. मेरे को भी लगता है.
City हाँ. City will be up there, but I think Liverpool
City will
are
definitely
gonna.
be there, हमें पता है. But
We will get a Marmoush master class this season.
Oh, that's a good.
Bhai,
Marmoush.
Marmoush is a great player actually. That's a great shot. I think Marmoush might also do unexpected shit. He might actually.
Golden Boot में शायद आ सकता है. I think Haaland.
I can definitely. For me, Golden Boot is definitely probably between. I think Haaland को मैं rule out नहीं कर सकता कभी. Golden Boot.
Rule out तो मैं भी नहीं कर रहा. But Watkins is my favorite.
I think मेरे लिए तो João Pedro obviously.
João Pedro is a crazy shot because I think मुझे लग रहा है João Pedro will score a lot of goals. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है.
मुझे लगता है he's the guy. He's the striker.
By the thing is, I wouldn't say João Pedro because ये अब प्री-सीजन गेम्स में तो ऐसा रहा है. João Pedro हमेशा 68th मिनट मार्क पे रिप्लेस हुआ है डेलाप से, तो उसको उतना टाइम नहीं मिल रहा. तो मैं इसलिए मैं पेड्रो को नहीं रख रहा हूँ ऊपर, या कोई भी चेल्सी स्ट्राइकर को फॉर दैट मैटर.
I think Liam Delap इतना करेगा नहीं चेल्सी के लिए कुछ. I think he will be like a backup player बस. I think João Pedro could score like
I think people are sleeping on Delap and Pedro both. मुझे लगता है कि हमारे स्क्वाड में से Delap and Pedro will surprise everyone because Delap is beast भाई. He is so
दिला
उसकी mentality top level है भाई.
विजय,
उसकी
नीड टू
mentality
टॉक अबाउट सिटीज एकेडमी यार. सिटी के क्या रिक्रूटमेंट थी इतने सालों में भाई. इतने अच्छे नए नए प्लेयर लेके आए हैं थ्रू
भाई.
देयर लाइक सिस्टम.
Also he has a crazy ass
Oh, that
Oh,
prediction.
भाई
Marmoush will get more goals than Haaland,
साहब.
Isak and Gyökeres.
क्या
That's
बात
a
है भाई. ये
prediction.
वही ना बात. मसाला आया all three. Big up to you all three यार. Crazy ass comment and crazy ass prediction.
Gyökeres, Isak and Haaland. Three beast of strikers and Marmoush gonna outscore them. Nah, nah.
भाई वैसे
It's not
वैसे
a.
आई रियलाइज कि हम में से किसी ने भी ग्योकरेस को नहीं रखा भाई अपने
Actually,
उसमें.
Gyökeres को किसी ने बोला ही नहीं है actually.
I
अन्य
think
भाई ने बोला.
Gyökeres second or third आएगा. Gyökeres second or third आएगा मेरे लिए. Number, I think it'll
I think
be.
top
I
three
mean
पे
Pedro
होगा.
first.
Top three
Pedro
goal scorers
first.
में तो Gyökeres होगा. I think.
Pedro first. Isak second. Gyökeres third.
Haaland.
Haaland,
no
fifth.
Haaland, no
Haaland
Marmoush,
fifth.
and no Watkins.
Haaland fifth, and fourth would be Watkins.
अच्छा
भाई साहब.
चलो.
अकी भाई अकी के तो predictions तो माशाल्लाह.
भाई पेड्रो बहुत अच्छा करेगा. मैं बता रहा पेड्रो would be a beast man. मुझे पसंद है वो. चेल्सी का फेवरेट प्लेयर है वही पेड्रो ही है.
वो तो है. I mean, Joe Pedro is definitely यार.
Isak will be balling out. अब रुकेगा now. He put a statement कि मैं रुकूंगा मैं स्कोर करूंगा. Gyökeres, we all know what he did for Sporting. 43 goals in 45 games last season for Sporting. It's insane. That's Haaland numbers practically.
वो तो है. मुझे I want to close out this with a quick thing what people think of La Liga this season. Because La Liga is also looking tasty given the transfers.
La Liga. No,
And
मेरा domain आ गया. My domain.
Let's.
मैं
I'll start with. मैं end में अक्की के पास आऊंगा. अनन्या भाई आपको क्या लगता है La Liga का इस सीजन क्या होने वाला है? It's
I think Madrid जीतेगी.
कौन सी
you
वाली?
think Xabi Alonso can do it अपने debut season में?
कौन सी वाली?
Real Madrid.
ओह अरे यार मतलब अगर 30 को बोलोगे 30 को फिर भी सेंस बनता है लेकिन ठीक है.
So so your Madrid to win it and your Golden Boot winner कौन होगा आपके लिए?
I think Mbappe.
अब
कर जाएगा.
Very safe predictions but safe bets but it seems likely also मुझे मेरे हिसाब से. तेजू भाई your Golden Boot and your La Liga predictions.
Golden Boot, Mr. Spider-Man himself, Julian Alvarez.
Oh,
Whoa, bhai.
Nice.
Crazy.
yes.
I feel Alvarez होगा. And I don't know यार, मेरे को पता नहीं क्यों लग रहा है कोई भी एटलेटिको की विंडो को इतना अप्रिशिएट और ध्यान से नहीं देख रहा.
Oh, that's a
I don't
good
know.
shout.
I don't know. I feel like Atletico, it will be between
Nice.
Atletico
Okay,
and Barca.
interesting.
यार बहुत तेजू भाई star of the show today because भाई ने इतने crazy ass but very unique predictions दी हैं जो which backs with analysis also. भाई ने फोड़ दिया आज चैनल पे भाई ने फोड़ दिया.
आपकी बारी. मैं लास्ट हूँ अब आपकी बारी.
तो मेरी बारी. I honestly feel मुझे ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है कि मैं बताता हूँ. मुझे भी लगता है Madrid to win La Liga. And मेरा बजट बहुत क्लियर है उसके लिए. And Golden Boot I will probably put I'll put Rafinha.
Oh, that's a good shout. I like that shout.
Yeah, Rafinha for goal because Rafinha will score. I think will get even more goals this season मेरे हिसाब से because given that especially Rashford भी खेलने आए तो Rafinha can even play more as a striker when Lewandowski is injured.
Yeah, fair enough.
He will definitely lead the line when Leva is injured and Rashford can play left. मुझे लग रहा है हाँ मुझे only reason why I feel कि Madrid जीतेगी La Liga because once again we know it's a duopoly usually. Atletico Madrid usually die out from the title challenge at some point of the season. And Barcelona का क्या रहेगा कि अब मुझे लग रहा है Barcelona really want Champions League. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है वो Champions League
कोई नहीं.
You know, and मुझे लग रहा है कि they won't even mind if they don't win La Liga but win Champions League instead. Because
वो अब मेरी बारी. So मैं थोड़ा एक्सपेंसिव करना चाहता हूँ कि आज जैसे बोल रहे थे मैं थोड़ी वाइल्ड प्रेडिक्शंस है मेरी. तो मैं टॉप 10 से स्टार्ट करता हूँ. मैं टॉप 10 ला लीगा बेस्ट टीम्स इज गोना बी नंबर 10 Sociedad, नंबर 9 Mallorca, नंबर 8 Rayo Vallecano, नंबर 7 is going to be Celta Vigo, Number 6 is going to be Betis. Number 5th is going to be Villarreal. Number 4th is going to be Bilbao, Athletic Club Bilbao, above Villarreal at 5th. 5th Villarreal, 4th Atletico Bilbao. Third, I have Real Madrid at third. Second
You think
Atletico,
Madrid?
first Barca. This is the insane prediction. And Golden Boot winner is going to be Julian Alvarez.
Chalo, we agree on some
And
parts, I would say.
the flop of the season for me is gonna be the flop of the season is
Of
gonna
course,
be
Trent.
Alex Baina for Atletico Madrid.
एलेक्स बायना मैंने उसको एक्चुअली साइनिंग ऑफ द सीजन बोला है मैंने.
I I think problem with Alex Baina का जो system था Villarreal में it was a 4-4-2 system. वो बहुत attacking था. वो they would like it was 4-4-2, but then in game they play like a 4-2-4. वो दोनों wingers आगे आ जाते थे. मुझे नहीं लगता सिमियोने के सिस्टम में एलेक्स बाइना फिट करेगा एंड आई थिंक सिमियोने विल प्ले हिज सन ओवर एलेक्स बाइना. आई थिंक वो थोड़ा बायसनेस होगी.
नहीं, अब इधर
आई
मैं
बिलीव तो
डिसएग्री.
बाइना आई एम सॉरी टू से मुझे आई रियली लाइक मुझे बाइना बहुत पसंद था क्योंकि ही कुक्ड अस लास्ट सीजन. उसने बड़ा हमें पीटा है, सबको पीटा है. इसने मैड्रिड को पीटा, ही डिस्ट्रॉयड Rudiger, he destroyed Kubarsi. He even cooked Romain Lenormand last season. We are at the last few games में थे. Baina was amazing. But I do
Nah,
feel
bhai,
like
but इधर I will
I don't trust Simeone with like मुझे
Teju bhai, please respond. नहीं, I want to hear Teju's response.
No,
Teju bhai,
no.
क्या
इधर मैं डिसएग्री करूंगा. लाइक यू सेड कि 4-4-2 विलारियल की होती है. अगर तू ना बोले सिमियोने एग्जैक्टली यूज द 4-4-2 सिस्टम एंड तू जो बोले सिमियोने स्टार्ट करेगा. बाइना की जो वर्सेटिलिटी है, कैन प्ले एज एन 8, ही कैन प्ले एज अ 10, ही कैन प्ले एज अ फॉल्स 9. राइट वाला राइट मिड पे जहाँ पे सिमियोने खेलता है, अगर उधर सिमियोने खाना है तो लेफ्ट मिड का ऑप्शन है. बाइना जैसा भाई यूटिलिटी प्लेयर मैं अभी कि किसको भाई सैमुअल लीनो उन्होंने भेज दिया और जावी गलान और रेनिल्डो वैसी फुल बैक्स और रेनिल्डो भी संडरलैंड
अच्छा लीनो बिग गया. I didn't know Lino was sold. मुझे पता नहीं था Lino.
तो एग्जैक्टली लेफ्ट मिड का सेंटर मिड का कैम टाइप पूरा रोल खा लिया. और तो मैं तो क्लियरली बोलूंगा आई फील लाइक बायना हिट साइनिंग होगी एंड इनफैक्ट साइनिंग ऑफ द सीजन होगी एंड प्रॉब्ली डिफरेंस मेकर हो सकता है. एंड आई आल्सो फील लाइक वो प्रेशर भी रिलीव करेगा ग्रीजमैन से क्रिएटिव ड्यूटीज वगैरह का.
crazy. मेरे हिसाब से मुझे टॉप ऑफ द सीजन क्यों लगने वाला है. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it is Trent Alexander. He's gonna be the underwhelming player.
It was for me. It was between Alex Baina and Trent. लेकिन मुझे लगा कि I think Xabi के अंदर Trent को वो थोड़ा different form में use करें. So that's why I'm saying like maybe he's not going to be the best signing, but he's definitely not going to be the flop because वो भी देखना कि Xabi किस form में खेलता है. We don't know what Xabi will finally do. कि starting line में इतने सारे options उनके पास है. Will it gonna be Carvajal?
Trent का मुझे बस यही सीन है. Trent might work for the system, but मुझे लग रहा है Trent will also be once again defensively बहुत expose होने वाला है क्योंकि ट्रेंट का वर्ल्ड कप में दिख गया था कि भाई वो कितना मिसकम्युनिकेशन क्रिएट करता है डिफेंसिव फेज में एंड दैट इज हाउ वो ट्रेंट का दिक्कत रहा है. डे 1 से उसका दिक्कत यही है कि भाई आप अवेयर नहीं हो, इतना ऑफ हो जाते हो कभी कभी. ही स्विचेस ऑफ. उसको पता नहीं है उसके पीछे कौन सा रन आ रहा है. उसको पता नहीं है किस प्लेयर को प्रेस करूं किस प्लेयर को नहीं प्रेस करूं. उसको कभी कभी पता नहीं है कि शुड आई फॉल बैक और शुड आई फॉल. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि ट्रेंट माइट सफर कुछ डिफेंसिवली हर वक्त सस रहा है. मेरे लिए तो ट्रेंट हर वक्त डिफेंसिवली सस रहा है. ग्रेट क्रिएटिविटी, ग्रेट पासिंग रेंज, great reading of the game and brilliant in his providing assists to players, but defensive sus. He'll do attackingly well. He'll do well. Defensively might underwhelm a lot of people.
And for me, the La Liga player of the season for me is going to be Lamine Yamal. This time around.
Lamine Yamal is an easy shout, I think.
He definitely easy.
Is an easy
What
shout.
आप तीनों का क्या है shouts for player of the season La Liga?
Teju bhai, you want to take that up?
I don't know. मैं because Atletico की तरफ ही थोड़ा सा I would say slightly मैं कर रहा हूँ. I don't know. Maybe Simeone finally gets it this time right, and maybe finally Griezmann को एक अपने में I don't know, I think उसका लास्ट सीजन हो सकता है यूरोप में, तो I feel like इस बार फाइनली ला लीगा जीत सकते हैं, थोड़ी मोटिवेशन जो सिमियोने ला सकता है, तो इसलिए I feel एल्वारेज शायद हो सकता है प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन. मैंने उसको टॉप
मतलब
स्कोर भी प्रेडिक्ट
गोल्डन
किया
बूट
इस
विनर एंड प्लेयर ऑफ द सीजन, दैट्स टू players. Okay,
I
Shout
feel
out.
हो सकता है.
that's a good shout. I
But
not mind that.
but and the thing is, अगर मेरे को फ्लॉप ऑफ द सीजन बोलना हो, I'm so sorry, but I don't know why I feel जो बारसा में करंटली कीपिंग का इतना कंट्रोम चल रहा है ना, मेरे को इसलिए I think गार्स मेरे को फुल नहीं मिलता, और जो इन्होंने जॉन गार्स से हाथ साइन किया, I feel like he would be the flop of the season.
I mean,
I don't know.
that's. I mean, I do believe like John Garcia. मतलब last season for he played for Espanyol, so उनकी वैसी डिफेंस बहुत लीकी थी, तो he had to do a lot of saves. वो तो हमें पता है. But John Garcia flop, I don't think so. It's going to be a flop. He's going to be an okay keeper. He's not going to be a golden glove because हम defensively हम थोड़े weak होंगे इस season. We have replaced Inigo Martinez with some La Masia youngsters. लेकिन again क्योंकि हमारे financial issues है, so we had to do whatever, like just like Chelsea को embargo था, you couldn't sign anyone, so we're just promoting youngsters. I think वही है क्योंकि I think Golden Glove के लिए I would go for this season. Golden Glove is going to be Jan Oblak. I think it's
Oblak.
going to be. I think Oblak is बहुत underrated.
I
I think we
can.
don't give you enough respect. I think जो historically देखा रहे, अब over Black has been for like years. I think historically पहले जब prime time पर Courtois, Ter Stegen को ही मानते थे, the two best keepers in La Liga. अब वैसे Courtois अभी हम now is about to, अपने वो आखिरी retirement era में भी, Ter Stegen is injury prone. Oblak I think has been the one guy who's been with them continuously saving the club. Even though वो बहुत lucky है कि last time भी एथलेटिको की जो 4-all की जो game हुआ था, जो 4-all, that was a goal fest. उसमें Oblak made a lot of good saves. Even like Chesney also made a good saves. I mean Chesney is also staying for another like 1 year for us, so we have goalkeeping is sorted for us. And we are also, I mean, Ter Stegen का लग रहा है पता नहीं क्या है, ऐसा उसका injury इसका है. I think eventually he's gonna stay in. So we're gonna have like four solid keepers with us. So goalkeeping is not an issue. But defensively, I think Inigo is a big loss. Inigo Martinez is a massive loss. So I think this kid, मैं इसका नाम भी recently आए Andres Cuenca नाम का kid है. So he's very good. He's very highly rated, and in La Masia is also a couple of this Martinez kid. जो recently अभी इसका अभी आया, इसका नाम आया है. बार्सा यूनिवर्सिटी ने इसको काफी हाईली रेट किया है. Even like I think जो experts कह रहे हैं, it's going to be the next Kubarsi, the next breakout star for us. So I think hopefully good times for us. I know a lot of people might say it's bias है कि बार्सिलोना सपोर्टर बोल रहे हैं बार्सा, लेकिन वही है कि जो फाइटिंग स्पिरिट है ना हम में, we keep fighting. यही जो हमारा डिफरेंशिएट है कि हम फाइट करते हैं. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा it's going to be runaway. It's going to be मुझे लगता है एथलेटिको और बार्सा का टाइटल रेस होगा. Real Madrid will be fighting for top 4. They will not be the same Real Madrid that we know. Because this is transition period. Xabi Alonso amazing manager. Xabi will not be sacked. इतना कहूँगा Xabi Alonso sack नहीं होगा. He would stay. वो अच्छा है, लेकिन I would not be surprised if Real Madrid might miss. I would not be surprised if Real Madrid misses top 4 altogether. Because and this is a bold prediction. I'm putting them third, but if Real Madrid don't finish in fourth or even third, they might even finish fifth or sixth. Because the other teams around them have also invested heavily. Bilbao, of course, उनकी academy इतनी अच्छी है. They're like the Basque region जो उनका है. They always bring players from Basque region, and they always find some insane kid from somewhere. And one of the players that really like about Bilbao is this guy called Oyan Sonset. He's a Spanish player, and he's a very good player. So I think with the player, because Nico Williams is staying, Iñaki Williams, Nico Williams, Sonset. They also have this kid called Jaruk Geziar. He's another player. They always like find some place. वो कहाँ से उनको ढूंढ निकाल लेते हैं वो. I think Atletico will be up there. And even Villarreal, I mean, they lost Alex Baena, and they also lost Thierno Barry recently to Everton.
Yeah.
Everton में गया है वो. But
Yeah.
again, their academy. These La Liga clubs are starting to build on the academies now. And the Premier League doesn't focus that much on academies. I mean, like कितने एकेडमी प्लेयर्स निकले हैं जो आपके अच्छे हैं अभी आर्सेनल ये जो अभी दिख रही है मुझे एकेडमी या चेल्सी है जो एकेडमी में इन्वेस्ट करती है सिटी करती है बट लिवरपूल का कौन सा एकेडमी का प्लेयर निकला है अपार्ट फ्रॉम ट्रेंट रीसेंट इयर्स में
बाय कर्टिस जोन्स है हार्वी एलियट है बोल तो
अपार्ट फ्रॉम ट्रेंट कर्टिस है ही नहीं ज्यादा कुछ मैंने
वो-
बारसा भी
भाई कॉर्नर एक कॉर्नर पैडली ये सब क्या बोल रहे तो
है
क्या?
मतलब लिवरपूल के भी है but lot of other clubs don't use
a lot of other clubs लेकिन for example what about the mid table clubs कोई है ब्राइटन के अलावा कौन सा मिड टेबल क्लब ये नॉटिंघम के फॉरेस्ट के अलावा कौन सा मिड टेबल का यूथ में इन्वेस्ट करता है कोई है can you name some no in La Liga every club has some youngsters that come from the academies respectively like Atletico का भी देखो Atletico Pablo Barrios what an amazing find is from youth academy Pablo
भाई
Barrios
वैसे वो रियल मैड्रिड की यूथ एकेडमी से लिया गया था ओरिजिनली
हाँ एक्चुअली लेकिन
मूसियाला यार मूसियाला भी चेल्सी से था तेरू
ओ भाई
मैं रियल
भाई चेल्सी चेल्सी तो अपनी एकेडमी की बात चेल्सी तो अपनी एकेडमी की बात करी डेक्लन राइस साला दे ब्रुयना मुसियाला
एक्चुअली मैं वही कह रहा हूं मैं तभी बोला चेल्सी
मार गई अपना ये हो गया जो न्यूकासल का राइट बैक है लिवरामेंटो लुइस हॉल भाई
मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि चेल्सी खराब है
हमने न्यूकासल को तो पूरे फुल बैक्स दिए भाई अपने
तो हमने तो दिया है let me just take up a few comments to wrap up the thing which we'll also I think we have got some interesting comments in Ranu says कि
उससे पहले मैं बॉटम 3 में बता देता हूं आपको मैं जो बॉटम 3 टीम्स है ला लीगा की एक मिनट भैया इससे कमेंट्स से पहले मैं ये ना बोलूंगा कि मैं बॉटम 3 बता देता हूं ला लीगा की मेरे लिए है एल्चे
बताओ यस
एल्चे लेवांते एंड एस्पानियोल गेटिंग रेलेगेटेड and Real Oviedo the new
relegated for you
Real Oviedo the recently promoted side which is owned by Spencer FC actually has a stake in the ownership of Oviedo they're going to stay up why and the reason why Oviedo because Oviedo have an absolute legend player playing for them captaining them at the age of 38 Santi Cazorla
man what a legend
absolutely legend. He's carrying he was the main reason why they got promoted and he's still staying there that's his boyhood club his career started in Oviedo so I think Oviedo gonna stay up and Espanyol I feel gonna get relegated because Johan Garcia का loss काफी है इनके लिए
मैं सिर्फ दो टीम कहूंगा जो मेरे को लगता है आई फील लाइक एस्पेनियोल एंड वेलेंसिया मैं ये दो का पक्का कहूंगा जो मेरे को लगता है रेलेगेट होगी मैं तीसरी का नहीं कह सकता क्योंकि मैं इतना ला लीगा फॉलो भी नहीं करता पर मैं ये दो का मेरे को लगता है
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of other La Liga teams. I think Aki has a bigger handle on all other La Liga clubs. I mean, I do follow Barca, Real, and Atletico. But मैं ये जरूर कहूँगा कि given that given the I think Oviedo, I think Espanyol, yes, as is a huge shout in, and so is Rayo Vallecano. I think they can also be relegated, and I think Espanyol, Alaves.
नहीं Alaves नहीं Alaves like मैंने Alaves को 16 रखा है लेकिन they have made some good signings this is going to be enough for them to stay up
I think for me it's
Levante का लग रहा है Levante थोड़ा बहुत वीक लग रही है मुझे Levante and Elche
Levante probably even third as my relegation
and the most disappointing team of the season is going to be Sevilla I predicted 14th
oh bhai
I think they're going to be disappointing काफी मतलब उनकी हिस्टोरिकली काफी बहुत खराब साल चल रहा है I think it's going to be another year for them and Valencia 13th Valencia and Sevilla में disappoint करते हैं नजर आएंगे फिर से
Valencia तो even I agree मेरे को Valencia में ना particularly जितने players lose किए and उनका owner फैंस का जो चल रहा है हाँ Mosquera lose कर गए there's also the rumor of them losing Javi Guerra जो उनका probably so I feel वैसे बहुत टैलेंटेड रहे पर वही है वेलेंसिया का कोविड से इतना बुरा हाल हुआ है कि उनको अपने प्लेयर्स इतने सस्ते में बेचने पड़े हैं
बहुत
मैंने
यार, उनका
देखा
पूरा
है।
बुरा हाल हुआ था उनका। वेलेंसिया सफर्ड भाई कोविड के बाद, उनकी लग गई थी
एंड द
काफी
थिंग इज ना ही उनका ओनर भी टीम
बिल्कुल।
बेचना चाहता है या
हाँ, वो
बेच पा
बेचना
रहा है।
चाहता है सैम, जो भी इसका सिंगापुरियन, जो भी जहाँ भी
डैनियल
करता
लिम है
है।
मेरे ख्याल से, डैनियल लिम
लिम,
है
हाँ,
कुछ
लिम
करके।
लिम लिम
हाँ
पीटर लिम ना,
I think,
पीटर लिम
I
है
think,
शायद।
हाँ
I think just going before, I think I would, because it's the big. I just want to you guys to give the Premier League predictions for 4 games for this weekend. Only have asked for Premier League predictions for games only for this weekend,
हाँ, श्योर
not for
यार।
La Liga. La Liga के लिए अलग सा वीडियो करूंगा मैं.
हाँ, उसका तो
So
अलग ही है।
Liverpool versus Bournemouth tonight. Guys, क्या लग रहा है आपको?
लिवरपूल
Bournemouth.
लिवरपूल
आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग
3-1
लिवरपूल
लिवरपूल,
विक्ट्री।
3-1 लिवरपूल,
हाँ
3-1।
नहीं, आई वुड से थोड़ी वाइल्ड गेम होगी बिकॉज एंडी इरायोला भी अपने थोड़े
हाँ, ये राहुल,
फास्ट
एंडोनी
पेस्ड
राहुल।
पागल फुटबॉल के लिए थोड़ा माना जाता है। सो आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग इट क्लासिक 4-3।
4-3. Nice. What about you?
4-3 लिवरपूल।
4-3. I think I'll also, for this weekend, I will say Liverpool to win this game 3-1. Liverpool to win 3-1.
3-1, हाँ, 3-1।
3-1
और कौन सा
with,
पिक्चर है अभी रिसेंटली जो आ रहा है गेम वीक 1 में? मैं भी follow
and Bulls City we have. City play
Bull
Bulls
City?
away.
Oh,
Bulls.
5-0, 5-0, 4-0 City
नहीं
यार।
नहीं नहीं नहीं,
कितना
इतना
बहुत
नहीं। आई वुड
Bulls के
से
बुरे हाल है अभी।
आई वुड से
I would not-
2-0। सिटी भी ट्रांजिशन में है अभी, मेरे को देखना है कि लाइक कैसा होता
True.
है। एंड ऑफ कोर्स पेप का रूलेट क्या रहता है, व्हाट इज द अटैकिंग, लाइक हालैंड इज ओनली आई वुड से द सिक्योर वन। पीछे उसके
बिल्कुल.
कौन है? इज इट मार्मूश, फोर्डन,
Reinders
अपना
Reindeers
चर्की?
होगा, Rodri, Reinders,
रेंडर्स तो
Marmoush।
पीछे मिडफील्ड पे है, रेंडर्स
हाँ,
भी
मिड में
सिक्योर है।
होगा।
द थिंग इज
हाँ.
नहीं, द थिंग इज उसके पीछे लाइक या उसका
अच्छा,
विंगर्स कौन है
मतलब
बिटवीन
the
फोर्डन,
Cam and
डोकू?
Wingers। अच्छा, ठीक है,
हाँ,
मिड ठीक है।
फोर्डन, डोकू,
हाँ
मार्मूश,
भाई, ऑप्शन बहुत है।
सवीनियो,
बिल्कुल.
भाई 4 मेजर, चर्की 5 प्लेयर्स और 2 या 3 स्पॉट। तो कैसे होता है मेरे को देखना थोड़ा, इसलिए मैं 2-0 बोलूंगा।
अभी सवीनियो को भी लग रहा है ना कि छोड़ रहा है शायद, कि
हाँ,
रोड्री को फिर
सवीनियो का टॉटनहम के
पता
साथ
नहीं अभी
लिंक्ड है।
उसको स्पर्स के साथ लेंगे, बट डिपेंड्स। अगर रॉड्री को नहीं आता है तो शायद नहीं जाएगा, वहीं पर रहेगा। आई
हाँ,
थिंक रॉड्री
हो
को की
सकता
वजह
है।
से
रोड्री, आई थिंक रोड्रिगो अगर चला गया ना, फिर मैं मैड्रिड को थोड़ा और लोअर रैंक कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि उसमें वो डेप्थ ही नहीं है उनका विंगर में। बस विनी
भाई.
है, एम्बापे,
नहीं,
कौन खेलेगा विंग में?
मिस भाई
विनी,
भाई
एम्बापे,
भाई
विंगर्स है बस।
भाई भाई आई डिड नॉट शो यू दैट कमेंट, लेकिन उस कमेंट को उस रैंडम गाय के कमेंट को मैं दे देता हूं, लेकिन उसने कमेंट किया था बासा फैंस इक्वल टू
ये पक्का मैड्रिड फैन है ना, पता है, ये
मुझे
रैंडम
भी
है,
लग रहा है
मैड्रिड
United fan है, but
मैड्रिड फैन
उसका
है यार।
opinion है भाई, उसका opinion है। But
guys,
I
like
also,
and subscribe so that you
please
can
like,
roast Akshat like
subscribe,
that.
please share for Akshit's crazy ass takes, and please big up
उसमें
to
क्या
you
है,
to
इसमें
random
crazy
guy.
नहीं है, मैंने अपना लॉजिक दिया है, I think।
Big up to United Football also if you're here for the first time. इसने एक अच्छा सवाल पूछा which we'll get to. उसने
यूनाइटेड आर्सेनल ओपनिंग गेम
यूनाइटेड आर्सेनल के बारे में उसने
आर्सेनल।
prediction मांगी है, but before that I want to get to that कि what about Chelsea Crystal Palace, guys? Chelsea Crystal Palace.
2-1 Chelsea, 2-1 Chelsea, 2-1
Okay.
Chelsea। João
And-
Pedro brace।
No, but nice, good prediction. तेजू भाई तुम्हारा?
3-0। पामर एक गोल, एंजो एक गोल और एक गोल हमारा डेलापिया उससे।
Oh wow।
Crazy. I will go for. I think it'll be a tight win. I think अगर होगा. I think I go 2-1 Chelsea. With goals from João Pedro and a goal from Enzo also. I feel. I think
Enzo?
João Pedro. Yeah. Enzo I think is in
मैं
scoring.
भी एंजो।
I
Enzo
feel
का
Enzo
अच्छा
has
है।
come to form finally. And for last, the big Sunday.
United Arsenal, the big one।
With the big one, as सवाल पूछे United Football ने भी कि what do you think? Do you think Sesko to score against Arsenal?
I'm gonna
I don't
say 2-2 draw।
हाँ, even same, मैं भी 2-2 ही सोच रहा
I
हूँ।
think it's gonna be Gyökeres brace and one goal from Bruno Fernandes and other goal from Matheus Cunha।
Nice. मुझे लग रहा है सेस्को को थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा सेटल होने में. And I don't know.
I think Sesko will
how
not
he
play। I think वो
Cole
ऐसा
also
होगा कि
also. He
कुनिया
might play.
राइट में, कुनिया
He might play.
एक साइड में, कुनिया एक में, बुएमो स्ट्राइकर। आई थिंक दे माइट गो फॉर ज़र्गजी। आई थिंक ज़र्गजी को थोड़ा चांस देना चाहेंगे इस बार,
मुझे
बिकॉज
मु-
तो हॉलैंड का भी लग रहा है ना बाहर जा रहा है। हॉलैंड इज ऑन हिज वे आउट।
Ireland will not start for.
Even if he stays, he's not gonna start. So he's already on his way out, right? उसका लग रहा है अभी भी।
उसका सीन सॉर्टेड है इस क्लब में अभी। मुझे लग रहा है
यार
लेकिन
Zirkzee
यूनाइटेड
will start.
कैसी
I
सी
think
है भाई।
Zirkzee will start.
यूनाइटेड के पास दिमाग होता है, हॉलैंड को हर गेम में स्टार्ट कर, कितना बढ़िया प्लेयर है।
अरे हॉलैंड
हॉलैंड इतना इतना
Withdrew.
बढ़िया प्लेयर है, इतना दान में पॉइंट्स देता है, क्यों नहीं खिला रहे भाई उसको? ये गलत कर रही है
अरे
यूनाइटेड।
यार,
मुझे लग रहा है to address this comment of United football also how Sesko will do and whether he'll score.
I
मुझे
think
लग रहा
Shesko is
he will
gonna.
score.
I think he's gonna be like 7th or 8th in the like Golden Boot race. I think he's gonna do well. I think
मुझे
वही
लग रहा है Sesko
वही
will be
जैसे
okay.
डेलापा
Don't-
पेड्रो का केस है, वैसे सेस्को और ज़र्गज़ी का होगा।
I agree. मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि मुझे लग रहा है कि शेस्को will be have a okay season. He will not light up the Premier League. ऐसा कुछ नहीं करेगा. I think मुझे लग रहा है उसको थोड़ा ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा सेटल होने में, because ये सिस्टम भी बहुत नया है. But I don't think he'll score against Arsenal for sure. But I
I don't think he's gonna
definitely
play in the first place.
I expect Cunha and Mbeumo to score against Arsenal for sure. लग रहा है कि they are. I think it'll be a scoring draw. I'll
I
also go
think
for a.
Mbeumo will get an assist. I think Mbeumo will get an assist in the game. I
I
think
think
not score
Mbeumo
but
to
assist
score
करेगा।
or assist, and Cunha definitely to score in a 2-2
I
draw
तो
with Arsenal. बता तेजो भाई।
I तो but feel कि सेस्को फ्लॉप होगा। I feel like सेस्को फ्लॉप होगा। I
Oh,
don't
as a
know.
prediction,
It's
हाँ,
like
flop
इसने बोला
होगा।
था
into
इसने बोला था इसने earlier in the stream बोला
हाँ,
था
Sesko
Sesko
flop
flop होगा।
I feel like सेस्को एक्चुअली जिस क्लब में जा रहा है, और रास्मस हॉयलैंड सिमिलरली सेस्को की तरह ही ऑलमोस्ट रिकॉर्ड था जब खरीदा था यूनाइटेड ने। आई डोंट नो, आई फील लाइक
Facts.
Cisco flop होगा, and all the more reason I feel like वो pressure and on top of that जो Bundesliga tax है और जो attention and plus I feel like वो flop होगा। At least first season में बोलूँगा definitely flop होगा। Second season onwards हो सकता है maybe अच्छा हो, but I definitely think first season Cisco will be a flop if I'm being
As
honest।
a
तभी
prediction, I
तभी
think so. That's
तभी
pretty decent.
यूनाइटेड को टॉप 6 के भी बाहर रख रहा हूँ। I feel like सेस्को का अच्छा या बुरा होना will
Determine
basically
बहुत चीजें।
like
I
depend,
don't think so.
like
क्योंकि
decide
मुझे लगता है
United's Champions League।
because
Yeah,
reason why I think would be reason like मैंने United को खुद 8th रखा है, मैंने 7th रखा है, just outside. I think they might get Conference League depending on, or they might win an FA Cup, get Europa. I think ऐसा ही होगा उनका।
I think
But
that's
I do feel like Sesko will do something. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो Holland level का नहीं होगा।
मैं थोड़ा
I think
fence
he's
पे
gonna be
हूँ
like
अभी Sesko के बारे
I
में।
think Holland ये होगा Holland तो बाहर जा रहा है। I think.
I
But
think
one
let's
player I
see.
think going to do well with Kobe Mainu. I think Kobe Mainu is going to do well for United this time.
Good shout in भाई, good shout in.
Because
All right,
उसमें
folks.
Casemiro गया, Casemiro
Let us-
बाहर
I
जाएगा।
gotta-
Casemiro
Okay, guys, all right, I gotta go now. But it was great having you all on the stream. बहुत मजा आया, बहुत crazy ass predictions किए. And big up to everyone who showed up in the chat. Please like, subscribe this channel. Please support it. अपने दोस्तों, भाइयों, बहनों सबको बताओ and bring it on to the new season.
next
Looking
season
forward to tonight.
review
Looking forward
करेंगे,
to La Liga
prediction
showing
review.
up. It is going to be lit. मजा आएगा दोस्तों. Lots of love to you guys. You take
And
care.
end of the season
I'll see you.
prediction
Bye,
review
guys.
करेंगे। End of the
Bye.
season देखेंगे वापस कौन सही हुआ कितना।
Definitely.
Guys,
चलो.
सब्सक्राइब करो ताकि अक्षित को आप रोस्ट कर पाओ।
अरे भाई
See you guys. See you.
चलो,
You take
bye.
care.